Hello and welcome to the Free Cheese, episode 202. I'm your Joe Dix, joined tonight by Matt Sellner.
Hello.
Sandeep Jandu.
Hi-oh.
The Free Cheese, a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. Guys, guess what? There are only 358 days until E3.
It's exciting. That's exciting.
Start counting them down, boys. What do you think's going to happen at E3 2018?
Death Stranding gameplay.
God damn it.
No.
Doubt it. E3's over, though. All done. I feel better. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling better after.
Good.
Yeah.
I didn't expect you to get sick, and then done. Also didn't expect that you could catch the E3 sickness while in Baltimore and not actually at E3, just having taken off work for E3. But we both got sick as fuck.
What happened?
I didn't get sick as fuck.
I got sick as fuck.
I took preventive measures though to
Who
stop
does
it.
that? Yeah, I don't take that.
Yeah, I was feeling real bad at work. I left early and I went home and slept for like what felt like 8 hours, but it was really 3.
Oh, good.
That's the
I
story
almost
of like
drowned in my own.
for me.
I almost drowned in my own slobber. That's how good of a sleep it
Good
was.
sleep?
Yeah.
So here's I don't know where the cause was. I don't know what, but here's the series of events that occurred for us.
Facts.
Facts, the hot facts. I bought a grill. Fact 1. It was a charcoal grill.
Is that why it's a hot fact?
Hot, yes. Charcoal grill against Hank Hill's best wishes.
Ooh.
Right? Because he's always saying, taste the
Yeah,
meat,
I mean,
not the
You're
heat.
gonna taste the heat. not
And
the
I
meat.
said, maybe we'll have a good smoky taste.
Mm.
It'll be fine. Well, it's a lot cheaper to buy a charcoal grill, in the flash of an eye than it
You
is to
haven't been
run
looking
out.
at Wagner.
It's true. The Char King. So I grab one, bring it home. Matt, apparently grill master, says, we're going to, I got this. I know what to do here.
Can I make a guess here? Does this have anything to do with tainted meats?
No.
No.
tainted meats.
No, surprisingly.
TM is out.
And again, I don't know if the grilling actually led to it, but something about it definitely fucked me up.
Yeah.
This was Sunday or Monday we grilled? Sunday
we grilled.
So Sunday, day 1, we grill. Well, technically day 2 of E3, but day 1 of grilling, we grill. We make a pyramid out of the briquettes. All good. We let them go. We let them turn from black to white, meaning they're fully hot. We toss those meats on. Meat takes a little while to cook, which to Matt, because I'm not charcoal griller man, but Dr. College says, hey,
That was a little too long.
a little too long. So they're still good though. We tasted mostly the meat with a little bit of the heat, but not in a bad way.
I think it was your seasoning heat.
Right.
I think it was a good
It
heat.
was a good heat. Sunday's burgers and dogs, good burgers and dogs.
Just took a little long.
Monday, we wrap up Ubisoft. We're excited. Bang, bang, motherfuckers. Bang, bang. All right, let's go heat up the grill, get it ready to go. Matt says, you know what? That took too long yesterday. While we got those hot flames, let's toss on those meats. Now, mind you, the day before, despite having a good cooked meat, hella smoke, lots of smoke. And I sat there taking the brunt of that smoke and didn't realize it till about 5 in the morning, Monday morning, when I woke up going, oh God. I felt like I started smoking again. Like it was worse than that. Like it was bad. It was really, really, really bad. So Monday night, we're like, all right, let's toss those meats on while it's still burning. We're good to go. We got this. I'm still like, then being back out in the grill, like my throat's all agitated. I'm agitated. I don't feel great. Let me just get a good burger in me with some good old taste. Pop it in. That tastes like lighter fluid. Why don't somebody else try one? Does that taste? Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
good.
my
Lighter
bad.
fluid confirmed. No one's blaming you, Matt.
I'm going to take full responsibility for that
We
one.
were all in this together.
Just take half. Half is good enough.
It happened.
I blame Scott Ryder.
There you go. He's got this, or does he? We keep going. I don't think the hot dogs were back because we put the hot dogs on last. But I'm not going back for them. I mean,
Those
I
were
wasn't.
fine though.
They were.
They were fine.
But I had already had the taste of the lighter fluid. Every time you burp, you get a little fluid. Just anything. Just lighter fluid. So then I think we were fine Tuesday, but Tuesday we said we're not going to.
Tuesday, you were feeling like bad. I could just tell you were just like exhausted. You weren't feeling yourself. You just kind of wanted to get E3 over with. I felt fine.
Yeah.
Like I had the lighter fluid burps on Monday.
Right. They were gone by Tuesday.
But Tuesday I was fine.
But my throat was still sore Tuesday, was it not?
I think it was. Yeah.
Wasn't great.
Yeah, you were still fucked up. I think the first day, or at least that's what your thinking was.
So then, but that was all it was sore throat, and I just kind of felt a little rundown. Again, E3 was about 6.5 years long this year. So then comes Wednesday, right?
Yeah, it was Wednesday, but Thursday was the day.
Yeah. So Wednesday I get into work, and I'm like, sore throat, I don't know, I'm fine, who cares? No big deal.
I had a fabulous day.
Make it through the day. It sucked, but my throat was getting better, just not totally there yet.
Yeah. Were you talking like Dr. Girlfriend?
I wish. That would have been really good. But I was like way out of it. Like when I got in, like the first thing, I was just like cross-eyed and dizzy and a little weird. Thursday though, that was the day where I came in and I was like, I have a fever. I have a full-on fever. I don't feel good at all. I'm dizzy standing up and talking and breathing. And I walk in, I see Matt, and he's like, I'm going home. I got to finish this shit, and I'm going home. And I was like, what? And he's like, I'm just, nope, not feeling good. And he was feeling, his whole energy was how I was Tuesday during Nintendo stuff, where I was just like, I got to sleep for a couple days. Just give me a couple days to sleep. And it was just bad. Fucking
Yeah, bad. I started feeling it Wednesday night. So I get home, and for whatever reason, lately I've been taking like a little half an hour nap after dinner. I'll be sitting in the living room watching TV, and I just snooze. I don't know why. It's just a habit I've kind of picked up here.
Are you European?
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, just asking. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, then I took my little nap, and I woke up, and I had the sore throat. And I was like, ooh, maybe allergies. So I took a little allergy pill. Mm-hmm. It was getting worse as the night went on. I was like, this is not good.
Not a good time.
Good night's sleep.
Yeah.
Wake up, we're going to feel better. Woke up, like, nope. I have to go into work.
Right. Gotcha.
I have to. There was things I needed to do, but
I drank that whole case of those coconut drinks.
They're good, aren't they?
Well, they're great.
Yeah.
Oh, look, we're all on the buy train.
But I didn't expect to drink them that quickly. Gone. I bought them for Katie. I think she had 2. Gone.
Till November.
Right. Well, I'll buy some this weekend. But just gone. I don't know.
You're also home for like 4 days of E3.
Fair.
So.
And they have a good taste, and you got to drink them down quick because they got a real good taste, and you want to taste more of it. Yeah, but I went Thursday night. Thursday I left work early. I was like,
oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, but eventually by the end of the day, I was like, no, I'm done. I wrapped up what I had to wrap up, and no.
Yeah, I left for more precautionary reasons. Like, I felt bad, but I could have stayed. It was I got a big weekend at work coming up, so I wanna. Yeah, I need to be ready.
Right. No, mine was like I have to make it through the next few days, and if I don't go home now and fall asleep, I'm gonna die. So I did that.
Yeah.
And then much better now.
I'm great now. That sleep and then that next day off, perfect.
But good, so we survived, I guess.
And here we are.
I haven't heard from Mark though, and now Mark's not here, so I wonder.
He's just at home on the toilet, just pooping it away.
Yep. No, he did have. Mark had a weird eye thing going on. I think he had like an allergy thing.
Are you talking about diarrhea? That was too much of a stretch.
It was good. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was just being indoors for 4 days.
I don't know if it's. I think he scratched cornea. Really.
Scratched cornea?
I think so.
Right.
Just the way it had that goop in there.
Yeah.
The night we were recording.
That's not fun.
He went and got some drops.
I think. Yeah.
I've burned my cornea before. That's not fun.
Ew.
How'd you burn it?
Working in a lab looking at UV light, and
that will do it.
The protection wasn't
great
on my face all the way.
Oh.
Spent like 2 days.
Because of negligence or bad protection?
Just me not putting the mask on the right way, so it was my fault.
You didn't put enough suntan lotion in your eye?
No. I thought I'd squirt it in, but I missed.
You got to massage it in.
Yeah, you got.
If you can still see white, you're doing it wrong.
Circles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent 2 days not being able to open my eyes. That was
Eyes? Both?
Both, yeah.
When the fuck was this?
This was like a year and a half ago.
So would you just stay indoors, stay home in your bed?
I just stayed at home. I had to get like some eye drops to put in. Like I couldn't open my eyes if there was any light, so I had to wear like sunglasses inside, like a.
Did you get good old
rapist,
Stevie
like
Wonder
a cool
shades?
song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We all went 3 separate directions with that.
completely.
Or are they all the same?
I mean, they're all bits of each other.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
No fun. Don't recommend.
Yeah, no. I had the scratch cornea thing a few times in mostly in high school when I just didn't give a fuck about, hygiene. Like I did enough, right? But
you were
You
like
smelled of cigarettes.
yeah,
though.
you were like
there was no
medium
time.
gene.
I don't
You
think I
weren't
smelled.
quite to the hygiene level yet.
right,
You were
yeah, medium G.
just below.
Yeah. Medium to low G.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a lot of it was just like I'll sleep in my contacts for 3 days and then,
Oh no.
take them out without remembering, did I wash my hands yet or not? Or,
That's
I
like
don't
when
know.
you open your eyes and the contact like moves with your eyelid.
Oh yeah. It's bad news. It was that kind of stuff. And also just like being too lazy. This was high school in a nutshell. Being too lazy to empty the contact solution from the thing.
Yeah.
As if it's so fucking hard to tip it over into the sink and then squirt new in. But I tell you what, when you're ready for bed, it's time for bed. And also when I went to bed at 5 o'clock to wake up at 7, it was also,
Yeah.
you don't really have a lot of time to be worrying about dumping over contact cases. You use the
Right.
same solution,
Yeah.
dirty or not,
Yeah.
6, 7 months. And
What you do
It's the
is,
solution to a
here's the
unique
solution to
problem.
that. You queue up for Dota matchmaking,
Oh.
and then you go.
yeah, it was bad. I had to get the steroid drops. I remember the one day I woke up and tried to open one of my eyes and I just couldn't open it. And I was like, oh, that hurts a lot. And then I must have been a senior. And I was like, I'm not going to school today. I got to go to the eye doctor. And call the eye doctor. And I was like, hi, can't open my eye. It hurts. And they're like, can you drive here? And I was like, okay, sure. It's like a 25-minute drive north of here. So I go up. And the whole way there, I've got my glasses on. And the glasses are just like refracting the light and fucking magnet, or it probably not, right? But it's just making it seem that way. Like it's 9 o'clock in the morning, the sun's right where I don't need it to be, and it's just ugh.
That you're driving, just northeast enough?
Right, yeah, right direct into
Right
it.
into the sun.
Fucking dirtbag sun. Yeah, but it's good now. I wash my hands every time I have to take my contacts out.
Yeah.
I'm very
I switched directions. The dailies.
right.
One and done.
One and done,
Oh,
huh?
man.
I'm feeling pretty good in these, too.
I know you've had
I
them on all
switched back,
day.
yeah. I'm feeling good. I'm still feeling good,
You're
too.
at the like 14-hour mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. On
That's
a
good.
related note, don't ever chop hot peppers and then go to pee and forget to wash your hands before.
Yeah. Yes.
It hurts
And then touch your eye afterwards, right? Without washing your hands all in one.
with your dick.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
that's talented.
fun fact. We were high school. There was a shitty old bar. You might remember it called Tully's. Remember Tully's?
I do.
And Tully's was a bar, and attached to it was a liquor store. And it was the only place you could buy booze in the county on Sunday.
Of course, because it's attached to a
Right,
restaurant.
right,
Yep.
right. So it drew all, and it's like right on the like line. It drew all kinds of fun. But Tully's, the restaurant, restaurant, whatever, had a wing night. I believe it was Monday nights, and we would go every Monday night. It was great. They had like we would order their whatever their hot wings were, and it was the perfect spice because we all had elevated ourselves a little bit where we liked a good spice, but you can't eat like 30 of them because after a while your stomach just starts to hurt because of the spice. Your mouth is okay. You're doing all right. We went one night when they were calling for a blizzard, and in fact it started blizzarding while we were there, and we said,
You
"Well,
melted
that's
it
fine."
with the hot wings.
Close. We melted a little something else. Nobody was coming into the restaurant. We were like the only party there, which meant their hot sauce wasn't getting kind of distributed or ran through as quickly, so it was much spicier than it normally would have been. So we all eat, we enjoy ourselves. We're all kind of like dying, just like faces sweating and red and just crying and snot and shit. And we get through the eating part, and then we're all like, all right, I'm going to wash my hands, I'm going to pee, we're going to pay, and we're going to try and drive home. Walk in, go to pee, or wash hands, get all the sauce off, go to pee, and then we're all sitting at the table trying to count our money, and we're like, hurt! Just in so much pain because the spice seeped through the skin, and everyone's crotches were on fire. Rest of the night.
That's amazing.
Nothing like a good old chicken wing dick burn.
Oh, yeah.
I think we found an episode title. And yeah, E3 was pretty good, I'd say.
That's good.
Seamless transition.
It was perfect. So looking back, E3 2017 is behind us now. The sickness is behind us. The chicken wing dick burns are all gone, all dried up. We're all better. How do you feel about things that were announced?
I like Microsoft's naming scheme.
Xbox One X.
Yeah.
X.
Yeah.
X. Yeah, just all the X's.
It's
something.
I don't hate it.
That's fine.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they could come out with pretty much any name besides something real dumb, and we just get used to it right away. Remember when everyone hated Xbox One?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And now everyone's just like, oh, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Xbox chicken wing dick burn.
Yes.
Up next.
See, that's the
rival to the PS5.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, even Switch, when they said the name Switch, I was like, I can't call
Oh,
something
that
a
made total
Switch.
sense.
It made sense, but I don't want to call a thing a Switch. You know what I mean? Now, obviously.
No, it
it's-
just makes
it's a
sense
Switch.
because it's just what you do.
Yeah, it was
Switch to
too
it.
obvious, and that's what I hated about it.
Yeah.
You know, and then
As long as it wasn't called a Wii something.
I know. Yeah, I mean, all console names. Xbox, period, is the stupidest fucking 2001 name I've ever heard. Like, oh, what are we going to call it? We got to market this to kids. What are we going to call it?
Xbox.
I don't know, Eddie. Let's call it the fucking Xbox. Like, oh, shit, you think kids will like that? I don't know. Andy's got a... Andy!
Well, hold on.
Bring your little bastard in here.
Pause.
What? I'm in the middle of a thing here.
Do you know why it was called the Xbox?
Because X going to give it to you. Because DirectX.
Yeah, exactly. There was a reason
There's a
behind
direct connection.
Yes. But also, then you start putting that out there to the... even still, right? You want to call it DirectX box. Where's the box coming from? Fucking stupid.
Because it's a fucking console. It's a box.
Again, it just
Why are
doesn't...
you turning into Danny DeVito?
It's just what happens when I get all fired up about console names. He's passionate about it, therefore I'm passionate about it.
Understood.
But they're all dumb.
I mean, to a degree, yeah. PlayStation. The station's the box.
Right. The station is where...
And you play at the
station.
station.
Where you play. It's stupid. They're all dumb. But you get used to them.
Exactly.
Therefore, Xbox One X. Makes sense. Also, the acronym... Xbox. Yes. And whereas the last one was X... Bone.
Yeah. The X-Bone.
I
think Nintendo hit it right at the beginning. Like
The entertainment
Famicom,
system.
family
computer.
and Nintendo Entertainment System. Those made sense, and then they sharply fell off a plateau.
Yeah, I mean, 64, I guess, kind of.
Well, even like Super Nintendo,
They
but then
all
they had
make
that weird like
sense to
naming
a
scheme
degree,
where like
it's
they
fine.
named all their games Super.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they did the same thing in the 64 era. It's fine. It's stupid, but you just get used to it.
You get
It's
used to it.
fine.
It's something to complain about for a week, and then everyone...
Remember the
moves
Vita?
on.
No one knew what the fuck, why they called it the Vita.
Well, Vita means life. It's...
yeah, oh my
Vita.
God. So, we got over that. It's fine.
Yeah, but I have
Vita's
my,
dead.
My car is
no,
making
it's
this
not.
really
No, it's
weird
not.
noise, and it hasn't stopped doing it. But I've gotten used to it to the point where, like, when I go in, I don't hear it anymore, and it's fine because it doesn't bother me anymore. But it's still there.
We'll talk about cars later. Listeners know from previous episode what I've been doing. Hot battery swaps. But anyway, yeah. I like the Xbox. And the more I hear Phil Spencer talk, the more I like the Xbox.
I do too. What games are there to play? And there's the silence.
Yeah.
Settle.
I think
there's
that's
the
probably
silence.
I think that's a thing that they're going to be aware of.
They
are
They
definitely
already
aware
are.
of-
So Phil Spencer was out this week talking about that stuff. He did a lot of interviews during E3. And one of the big things was when he took over Xbox after Don Matrick left, it was a lot of like going through and looking at the wider picture and seeing where do we need to be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and then what steps do we have to take to get there. And a lot of it was getting where we are now, because you look at where the Xbox One was when it launched as this media center, and how he quickly came in and said, no, we need to write the message. This is about games, period. They came out, they were kind of underpowered with the Xbox One in comparison to the PlayStation 4. They came out at a higher price point, doubling down on Kinect. They lost a lot of market share. And a lot of this has been trying to say, okay, what things did we wrong that we need to now right? And they're kind of getting there. And they've slowly started to check all of these boxes. And he very much said, we are well aware, games are the next big thing. Games are the thing we have to focus on next. And that's kind of, I think, where they're going to go. They'll
You
start.
saw that in their
yeah,
E3 press conference. It took the Sony approach, the trailer.
Their E3 press conference, I think in terms of, I still think for me, Nintendo was the most exciting, just as a person who plays video games, like, and kind of has that weird whatever, right? I think the stuff that Nintendo did was just like, yep, you guys are weird, dumb, fun. I love it. I think Xbox had just a better show. It really, like...
See, if there's one thing that Microsoft does is it does a lot of things right, and then it'll just do something out of left field that seems completely wrong. I feel like they're gonna do that again somehow. As a company, they got rid of Steve Ballmer as CEO, and they were doing all these things right. They came out with the Surface Pro and like the Surface line, which is actually really cool.
Yeah.
And then the CEO said something to the effect of like women shouldn't ask for raises. And they're gonna do something like that with the Xbox. Yeah. I know it's gonna happen.
But in the meantime, no, I mean, 42 games on stage. That was really, really impressive. And they were, not all of them were games that I was like dying for, but it was like,
you didn't want to play the Hunger Games indie game?
What was that?
Oh, it was the one that showcased, what's their streaming service?
Oh, Mixer.
Yeah.
No, I'm okay with that one. But, no, I mean, they had indie stuff. They had a fucking release date for Cuphead finally. They had... Crackdown re-revealed.
Which started off really freaking cool.
Really cool,
and then gameplay.
Out. Yeah. And Forza, like, I'm not the biggest driving dude, and I think if anything, I've always leaned towards dumb arcade drivers like Need for Speed and I know. Stuff like that.
Correct answer is Burnout, but all right.
But Forza looks really, really cool. And, the dynamic lighting and stuff they're doing, I know it's all just... not tech demo, but it's one of those things to show off the
console.
Right.
Yeah.
4K.
See, Forza is one of those things that always surprises me at how good it is.
Yeah.
I've always leaned kind of towards Gran Turismo and like the driving sim things, and like to be fair, I've never properly played a Forza game, but like whenever I like kind of see it come out of left field, it's always impressive to me.
Yeah, agreed. Totally.
I mean, I like the idea of getting into one of them, but I had a roommate in college senior year that played Forza, and he was just like tuning the most random shit I didn't even know existed in the car. I can't. Yeah. There is no way I get like that deep into a game.
It exists to satisfy a certain demographic.
Exactly.
To be sure.
Yeah, I tried a couple of the Gran Turismos. Like, I need to be able to just fucking go. Like, I would get lost in those menus. I'm like, I don't have time to.
But the menu music.
Yeah, you're right. Smooth jazz. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like. I texted you the other day. Like, I kind of want one.
You're in a good position to wait on that.
I know I am. I know. But
like, you don't have a 4K TV. That's not a 4K TV, right?
No.
So I mean, that's kind of strike one right there automatically. And then the games aren't there yet.
Right, but there is still a catalog, right? And that's my thing. The fact that they're doubling down on backwards compatibility, which we'll talk a little bit more about later on this episode, but the fact that they're doubling down on it in a way that kind of expands that catalog, for me, I'm not necessarily... This is going to sound contradictory as a man who runs a video game website and a video game podcast, but I'm not necessarily always on the up and up. I'm well aware of what's happening, but I'm not playing what's out there, part of the zeitgeist always. You might notice, Matt, that here on the table, I have a fine...
I can't believe you just flipped down Fighting Force like that.
I have a fine... One, Fighting Forces on the table. Two, Lightning Returns Final Fantasy, sealed, just arrived from Amazon 2 days ago. Yesterday, is on the table.
Why isn't that melted yet in the dumpster fire?
Again, this is a game I just bought because I never played it.
As you should.
Am very curious about it.
It shouldn't be.
I loved the demo, and I loved the way this game looked, and I liked that it's a weird Majora's Mask Final Fantasy game. The idea of it, right? So I'm going to try it. I've still got my PS3 plugged in. The point I'm trying to make is...
Flip that right back up. There you go.
She's still peeking. The point is, I don't necessarily need what's brand new. I'm not running out and buying whatever thing day one, $60. There are obviously things that I get excited about, and I do buy them day one. It's inevitable. But largely, I am kind of like, I explore everything. You know, I'm in the middle of, when we run through what I've been playing recently, you'll see I'm kind of like, even this week, scatterbrained all over the place. And I'm always kind of like jumping across things. So in that regard, I think the fact that I have never really explored the Xbox library, I think that's something exciting to me. Outside of like, I had a 360, I played Dead Rising, some Call of Duty games, and maybe like Skate 2.
There's most of them are third party besides Dead Rising.
Yeah.
Not really
no, and there were a few, like a little bit of Gears here and there, like things like that, but I never really dove into the Xbox world at that time. I don't know, something about it has always been attractive to me in a way.
I think my Xbox One diving point. So like right now, if you were to say let's get an Xbox, I am not even looking at an X. I'm looking at the S, and that price point like $250 to get into the Xbox catalog.
It's true.
Like if you give me that and a Master Chief Collection on the cheap, which is probably now cheaper nowadays.
And that's what, I mean, Sandeep, remember, that's exactly what I was out to do. I went out, I think it was the S. Or no, the S came out last year, but it was the year before. But whenever that was, remember the Xbox One, Best Buy shenanigans?
Yeah, when you were like 99% the way to buying one.
Mm-hmm. And the fucking guy had to come over and be... Anyway, I'm not getting back. I'm not going to boil myself.
Did you hold a fidget spinner?
I wish. By the way, side note, in the grocery store last night, I turn a corner and there's a kid spinning a fidget spinner and making direct eye contact with me. Won't break out. And I went, yes! And they had a whole shelf of them, $4.99 a piece. But I kept going.
Further side note, week away from the beach
in Ocean
City. Get excited.
God damn it. I mean, yeah, it's something that I've like really wanted to do specifically for the Master Chief Collection. Never played Halo at all. Like maybe one multiplayer match somewhere.
I tried to get into Halo back in the day when everybody was really into it in high school. I don't know. I pretended to like it, but something about it just didn't catch me the way it caught everybody else.
Halo 3 is one of my favorite first-person shooters ever.
Yeah?
And I played a lot of hours in that. And I don't even own an Xbox. I would just go over to my friend Mike's house, just... Halo, we would play Halo for like an hour, then we would switch to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1.
Yeah.
And then after an hour, we would switch back to Halo. And it was just
I would get so confused with control schemes because like...
They were similar. They were more similar than you thought. Yeah. I mean, granted, like the whole sprint thing wasn't like... There were minor differences, but you get your... Like, the floaty space shooter Halo was, like, you kind of... Your mind got adjusted to that. Yeah. And then the gritty... war-driven shooter, like your mind got accustomed to that.
Yeah, that's always like the worst for me is like when I'm switching between different like shooter games and just trying to get used to like the control scheme again. I'll always forget and like revert back to like whatever I was playing just before.
Yeah, no, I mean that happens to me from time to time, but I don't know. It was just because we were just playing them so much that I got used to it. But anyway, Halo 3, I love that game to death. And like, if someone got an Xbox with the Halo Chief Master, like the Master Chief Collection, like I would buy one and I would play through each campaign with you because I want to relive that memory. I don't have $300 to sink right now.
I'm not asking you to. I'm just asking you to stand behind me and support this decision that I might make later this year.
I don't know. You see, I don't know if you do it this year.
Why not?
I think you can wait until a price drop, or at least see what the horizon looks like.
I feel like they'll
next
probably
year.
drop the price closer to Christmas time.
I don't. well, it's not out yet. It'll come out at Christmas.
Oh, it's coming out at Christmas. Never mind.
But like even next year, like at E3, they do like a special pricing week where they drop it even like $50. That's a game.
I don't give a fuck about $50.
Obviously, you just bought fucking Lightning Returns.
Correct. I'd buy 5 more copies of that.
God damn it.
Maybe not 5 more copies of that, but you get the idea. I mean, I think to me, like the idea of waiting versus $50, like that, I'd spend the $50. It's fine. I don't know. It's the story they're trying to tell, right? Like there's something about speaking with your wallet and standing behind something because you believe in it. And when they launched the Xbox One, couldn't stand behind it. Now that they're moving towards the X and kind of the position that companies put themselves in, I kind of like where they're at. I think the same thing happened with 3DS. You go back years ago on the free cheese, there are plenty of hours of content of me shitting on the 3DS and talking about how fucking stupid it is, how flimsy it is, why won't you make one with a good form factor, where are the fucking games, like the prices to all of these things, and then suddenly it was like, okay, well, how about a 3DS XL? It's pretty, it's nicer, it's smoother, and it comes in black, because all they kept doing is putting it out in stupid colors and all that stuff. And then, okay, well, where's the games? Okay, how about Pokemon X? Fuck you. Okay, how about Squirtle inside of it for free? All right, now you're talking, right? Like, again, though, like they started to listen and they started to do things and react to the way that sales were and what people wanted and things like that. And I think, and that's what kind of ultimately led me to buy the 3DS, fully go in on that ecosystem. And I think the same thing here. Like, Xbox One wasn't something that attracted me at all. It had some games that seemed fine, but, you know, not a huge library. Now that library is a little bit bigger. You know, you look at something like Matt's favorite thing to shit on, the Wii U, right? But even the Wii U, right now, if you were going to, maybe not, but I'd still, no, fuck it. I would say buy a Wii U.
I would say no.
If you can find one, I would say buy a Wii U because there's a good library of games at this point that you could play via stuff that was actually native on the Wii U, plus the Virtual Console library. Virtual Console, the emulation on the system is not the best they've ever done or ever will do, but
if I actually own my Wii U, I would offer a viewer mine for free. But I don't own mine, so.
Jesus. Point is,
I think it's a piece of shit tablet that wakes me up at night.
There's a good foundation here. I like what they're doing. I like the story that they're trying to tell. And I would like to be a part of that story.
What would you get now if you had to pick a first game to get for...
If I got the X when it launches, I'd totally get Crackdown. Like day and date, if I were buying the console on launch day, I'd get it with Crackdown. Just because the first Crackdown was so stupid fun. And this one, it seems like they cooled off a little bit from what they had first announced. This looks a little bit different, but it looks like more Crackdown 1. Granted, Crackdown 2 was very not great, but this seems like a return to form, so I think that would be part of it, but I think also, again, that Master Chief Collection, like that's a series I'd never experienced, and I kind of want to go there. It seems like, you know, another answer to Metroid, in a way, so...
Did Battlefront 2 say they were putting their game out in 4K for the X?
I don't know. There's a lot of weird
I know
shit
they're with PlayStation, but that doesn't prevent them from putting it out in 4K.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that would be my game day and launch day. Like, I want to see, like, if I had a 4K TV,
right?
The first Battlefront, for all the shit it got, looked beautiful.
Right, yeah.
It looked really good.
Yeah.
And if I could see that on a 4K television,
yeah,
like, I would put some serious hours into that if it looked as pretty as it could be.
Speaking of Battlefront, by the way, this is just a slight tangent. Did any of you guys see the little like demo that they added on to Battlefront for like the VR mission when you're
never played it. I always was intrigued by it, but never played it.
The free one?
Yeah.
I haven't done it, but yeah.
Have you seen like footage of it?
Mm-hmm.
It looks so cool.
Did you played it or
no? I didn't play it.
You still
I don't. Yeah, I still have the VR, but I don't have Battlefront.
Did you buy Battlefront?
Yeah, I did.
It's fun. I wish I played more of it.
Battlefront 2 is playing. Yeah, Battlefront 2 is in 4K.
Oh, that's it.
I don't know if it's on Xbox One X or not.
It should
It's just a video of
whatever.
Yeah,
all right, so
it is.
That's my game.
That's your game to get.
Mm-hmm. That's someone I didn't even like the first Battlefront. I feel
even
like I'm gonna
more
like to
than like the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, because the Master Chief Collection, as much as it gets like a 4K patch, like it's not truly rendered in 4K.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like Battlefront, like I can't explain how good that game looked last time around.
Yeah. Right.
And then to do it again, like, you know, a little bit crisper environments in 4K on a 4K television, like that's legitimate.
Yeah, agreed. How about you? Any ideas?
None.
Also, Cuphead.
Huh?
Cuphead.
I mean, Cuphead looks cool.
Yeah, and they finally gave that a release date, so
I was always intrigued by Ori, but I feel like I
could
go.
In the Blood Forest?
Yeah, I feel like I could go Windows with it at this point.
And you could try. You want to log into my Steam account and download it. You can try it before you buy it.
Well, I could always buy it, and if it's not running, I can just return on Steam. Steam's very good about that.
Good call. But yeah, because mine that was.
Like I would never return a game because I hated it. Like after 3 hours of playing it.
Yeah,
but like if it's not running, I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we spent a lot of time talking about Xbox, but PlayStation, a mild showing. We talked a lot about that last week.
It wasn't the Year of Dreams, but I feel like the front of that show was solid enough, and then the end of that show may have my. It's literally a coin flip. It depends on the day you ask me what my game of show is, but Spider-Man looked that good.
Spider-Man's really, really technically impressive. I read or listened to an interview with Shuhei Yoshida afterward, and he said that all of that stuff, like, that was not scripted event, and he played that same event multiple times, and it played differently every single time. Like, it's fluid. It's not at all a thing. And that's the really, really neat part for me, is that they just kind of built a really good engine, and then you can go have fun in it. And all those events kind of...
And I got my answers. I got my questions answered. Like, I saw the combat. I was like, all right, like, that's the Arkham combat. I kind of had a feeling they might go with that. Like, what's the web swinging look like? And then is that moment where he runs and then does that 90-degree turn with the web to kind of go down, like, the block. And I was like, oh, that's what I want.
Yeah, it looks really good. That was a good way to end the show.
I'm sad it's in 2018, but if that's what...
That was the problem.
If that's what Insomniac needs.
I get that is I'm fully behind that. Right, everything. Take as much time as you need to make the game. My problem was with PlayStation is that all they had were games in 2018.
That's fine.
Right, like.
But my thing is, they're all games in 2018 that are before E3. Seems like.
Again, fine, but what am I playing on my PS4 this fall? That was the whole point that we talked about.
Battlefront 2, Destiny 2, all the big heavy hitters. Call of Duty World War 2.
That's none of the shit that I come to PlayStation for, right? Like
But that's where your 53 million install base is.
Fair, but the shit that got me to PlayStation is the shit that got them to 53 million installed,
and
right?
If you haven't played Uncharted yet, there you go. If you haven't, you got yourself some Crash. You got plenty of hours of Crash there in June. Horizon Zero Dawn, you haven't played that one yet. You're going to want to play that one in fall. The DLC.
Again.
Which is $15 if you're a Plus member, by the way, not 20. I pre-ordered that. You got yourself some Uncharted, Lost Legacy coming in August. I just named 5 things. That's plenty of hours.
Yeah. I know. I'm just... There was nothing in that conference of the 17 games that they showed that was like, holy shit, I can't wait to play this in October.
When's Lost Legacy coming out?
August. Again, Lost Legacy looks good. Lost Legacy is a smaller experience. It's what their team is working on now that they've built the engine for Uncharted 4, as their other team is building the engine in the game for their next big game, right? Like, this is not the big experience that they're pushing out there.
Oh, I forgot to mention Rocket League before it comes on the Switch.
They were just, again, we talked about it. It was...
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I'm just being an asshole.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but you have to look at how many times they've said there's a game coming out in fall 2017 just for disappointment when there's not a game in fall 2017.
I know that, but again, like it's the reality of it. That's all. Like I know why, I know when, I know where. I get all the reasons behind the things. I understand that. It just still sucks.
And I'm sure they weren't happy with what. I mean, sure they were satisfied with the conference, but I'm sure they weren't happy they didn't get to show a 2017 release date for Spider-Man or a 2017 release date for God of War.
Sure.
But like, I don't know. I feel like they were burned 2-3 times already this generation.
Yeah.
Saying that something's coming this fall and it didn't.
They just didn't want to make the game seem like a lost legacy.
Dude, that game, Uncharted Lost Legacy.
That game was
Did you miss the pun?
really pretty. It was a terrible pun.
Sorry.
But that game is really pretty. I remember when I watched the gameplay trailer of it, I thought it was still like a cinematic like sequence.
Oh, that first one?
Yeah, when she started when
Chloe?
Yeah, when Chloe like started like just free walking around.
Yeah. Like when they first showed that off in that like little village, I was like, "What is this?
The
Is
lighting,
this some weird
like
movie?"
the lighting effects in that are insane.
Yeah, it's a really, really impressive looking game.
Naughty Dog.
Naughty
Dog.
I know. I'd love to see what they do with a lightning returns.
I would love to see what they do with a Crash 4 after it gets enough support. June 30th.
Yeah, PlayStation was good. It's
$39.99.
It's just as someone who's been with PlayStation since '95.
All right, some of us are 3. That's unfair.
I know, but again, like I've been a part of that ecosystem that whole time.
See, here's the thing, though. I feel like they burned a lot of their like kind of exclusives, like the better exclusives in the first half, like when they released the PS4.
Yeah,
there's probably a lot of things that are in development now, but like I don't know, that was their whole selling point at first when the PS4 came out, was like exclusives. Like you've got all these exclusives to look forward to. So all of that momentum's probably dying, and there's probably going to be a second wave of them coming now, which is probably on like the trough instead of the peak.
I mean, this is a little bit of in history, and it might be a little bit tangent, but there was that year that PS3 had an exclusive. It was pretty much every month. Now, granted, that was the infamous crash of PSN.
Yeah.
So that didn't help anything. But even with that year where they had exclusive after exclusive after exclusive, like Microsoft was still taking it to them at that point.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like 2 years
later. That was
later.
because we were 5 years into the consoles at that point, and Microsoft had already just strongholded them. Because, again, as someone who had been with them since '95, right? It had been 10 years.
But there were so many things that Sony did wrong, too. It was
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It was 10 years of me being like, yes, PlayStation 2. I'm fully on board. Sold all my shit for pennies at a fucking yard sale so I could buy a PS2. My brother and I were so excited about it. And then we get to the end of the PS2 era. All right, what is this PlayStation 3? Oh my fucking God, how am I going to be able to afford this? I'm 16, right? Yeah, and it's just like, I don't have $600 fucking dollars. Like, I guess I'll buy an Xbox. All my friends did.
Nah.
You know, and it was like, that's what I had to do. And then 5 years later or 4 years later, I finally get a PS3. And then I'm playing catch up with that ecosystem. But it wasn't until the second hardware revision, till the price had come way the fuck down.
The slim model, that was one I thought about. I mean, I had a Wii. The first console of that generation was a Wii for me.
Same. I bought a Wii, and then about 4 months later, my brother got a 360 for his birthday.
You know, it's really impressive to me that like the consistency of exclusives for PS3, like based on the fact that they had to code for the cell processor.
Yeah.
It was a lot harder to make games for PS3 than it was for.
Well, they had that internal team, the ICE. I don't know if they refer to themselves as ICE or ICE, but I forget where it was now. It might have been a PlayStation blog feature or something like that a while back around the launch of the PS4. But they had a lot of like interviews with Mark Cerny talking about all that stuff and how
Sad Jim Carrey.
Yeah, sad Jim Carrey, and they had all these things about that hardware team that really knew the cell processor inside and out and built all of these tools. And I can't remember now if it was a couple of like higher up technology folks at Naughty Dog, I think, and a couple other ones internal to Sony, first party stuff, and they were going around to other first party teams and third party teams and training them on how to use the cell stuff and really unlock the full potential of that stuff, which was cool.
Yeah, that rings a bell. That might have been what he was talking about, like when they released the PS4.
It sounds.
He had like a talk just about like himself.
Right, yeah. That was something like that. But again, like that story they told at the beginning of PS3 was not one that I wanted to be a part of, and now they're getting to these levels of hubris with PS4 where they're getting close to that fucking $599 bullshit.
Yeah.
So let's wait to get there until
I know
about a certain
yeah, we get stuff to talk about later, right? But again, like with the story they told for 2018, or rather E3 2017, going into this fall, it's third party or fuck you, and buy it or get it. Like there wasn't the PlayStation we had in 2013 when the PS4 was introduced, and they went, we love everything. We love you. We love indie developers. We love big developers. We love power, and we love affordability. And we want it all to be in one box. Like, that was a magical thing, right? And we want you to be happy. We want us to be happy. Let's just all have fun. I understand business is business. You need to make smart decisions for your shareholders, for all of that. But it's, again, like that level of hubris is just, it's gotten to them.
Yeah.
A little bit. Nintendo?
It starts with the sizzle reel.
It does.
And it wasn't the bullshit of the first party. They showed a little car driving into a ball, and I flipped shit right on the left end of that couch right there.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's Rocket League.
Yeah, that was so fucking impressive.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It was just fucking, I can't believe it.
Yeah, that was probably it, after Rabbits.
Yeah.
It was that moment. I was like, "Oh shit!"
It was like, okay, something's happening. Like, you can feel it as soon as you see Rocket League's coming to Switch. And then it was, what was the first big game they jumped into?
Oh,
I don't even remember the breakdown now.
it wasn't Rabbits. That was Ubisoft. Oh my god.
Yep, totally gone. I don't know.
What was the first game? Nope, not coming to me.
Yep.
Stalling. So pull up the notes. And come on, iCloud. Nope, don't care what's new in Pages. Oh my god, something's downloading. Come on. Here we go. It was Reggie giving poetic things about where can the game take you. And then it took you to Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Got it. Okay, right. Weird. That's what we were going to open with. But then
Reggie.
it kept going, right? Like, we got
Kirby was immediately after that.
We got Kirby, which Kirby looks fucking cool. Bringing back, like, the cool swap abilities. Or
and then
combine abilities.
you thought your Earthbound announcement was coming.
I know.
And then it was, Pokken was last week.
Yeah.
And then also we're kind of developing this core Pokemon game that you should probably get excited about, but it's probably not going to be announced next year, so just stay patient on that. And then it was Yoshi.
Right. And Yoshi, did you see the trailer for that one?
No.
Unreal Engine 4. Diorama setting. It looks so fucking gorgeous. Like, it's really, really impressive looking.
I'm sorry. Before Yoshi, it was Metroid.
Right,
it was the logo.
right, yeah.
That was a hell of a trailer, the Metroid.
A trailer? Wait.
Yeah, that was the joke. Like, it's funny because that's what people seem to be getting the most excited for, and it was just literally just a logo.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's what I wrote. I was like, a logo. That's all it took.
The idea behind it was what's powerful, but yeah, I mean, not showing anything is like, okay, this game is fucking far off. But again, the fact that every year since 2010, we've said, yo, you guys gonna make Metroid? And they're like, what's Metroid? Huh? Oh, this pin that I'm wearing? I don't know anything about that. Fuck you. Suck my dick. And then we're like, guys, come on. Can we just... Reggie.
Yeah, that was just so there wasn't another year. Like, where the fuck's Metroid?
I know. So they came out and they're like, here the fuck is Metroid. And then after the show, they're like, here the fuck is Metroid again on 3DS. Let's remake that fucking game that you've been wanting us to remake forever, that somebody tried to steal from us last year. It's fucking remake. It was big. It was like, back in January around the full reveal of the Switch, when Reggie was being interviewed, somebody sat him down. I forget who it was. It might have been Jason Schreier at Kotaku, but they were just like, all right, I got to do it. Ready? Where's Virtual Console and Switch? Where's Metroid? When's Mother 3 coming out? And then Reggie was just like, look, we're talking about the Switch. We're doing this, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, we hear these things all the time. Let's talk in a year, and let's see where we're at on all these things, right? So let's check one of those boxes. We got Metroid not once, but twice. Sadly, we didn't get Mother 3. But that's coming, obviously. They'll do a little direct. They'll give us Mother 3 any day now, because region free means Mother 3. We all know. Mm-hmm. And Virtual Console is inevitable, right? So, I think it'll be good. Nintendo was really impressive. Rabbids we saw at Ubisoft.
Rabbids.
But Rabbids, I think, is probably Game of the Show.
That's the other side of the coin.
Yeah. Yep.
I did not expect a fucking XCOM game from a Mario.
See Rabbids? The Mario and Rabbids?
No.
All right. I'm going to paint a picture for you. Rabbids, the shitty little Rayman rabbit characters that no one likes, the minions of Ubisoft.
Oh, they're fine.
There's
an audience
minions. Fucking fidget spinner. That's an audience. That's who's out there. Rabbids.
It's an audience.
Who cares? Dumb throwaway characters. Then you have Mario, the classic lovable Italian plumber, and his brother Luigi, his friend Yoshi, and Lady Peach. All kind of teaming up in an XCOM style top-down, isometric view, strategy, action, RPG.
Turn-based.
Maybe not RPG, but yeah.
Kind of cool.
It looks
Is it like an RTS?
Yes. Yeah.
Not real time. It's turn-based strategy.
Yeah.
Turn-based strategy.
Okay.
So,
That's
but your
cool.
movement is limited, in a grid fashion.
You only push so far forward, and there's flanking involved.
There's covers all over the place.
Have you ever
You've
seen an XCOM gamer?
Yeah.
It's that with Mario
literally
Paint.
XCOM with Mario and Rabbids.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That sounds really cool.
I've been
so
joking the
fucking
entire week that XCOM 3 has been announced.
and it looks so cool. And again, that's the ultimate E3 announcement, just because it's weird, it's new, it's familiar, and it's coming out really, really soon. So
I threw my credit card in the TV.
Yeah, that was it. It was good. It didn't work, but
I was throwing money at Ubisoft. They wouldn't take it.
You should have just on your phone. You got Apple Pay.
Yeah, it's true.
That's true.
Yeah,
Contactless.
good.
You wouldn't even have to throw it. You just have to imagine it going towards the TV.
I have to get a little bit closer to that TV. I would have to dive, just full dive over the coffee table.
Yeah, it's worth it for Rabbids. But yeah, I didn't expect that game to be what it was, and
cool. That sounds really out of left field too, which is
it is.
Yeah. And then Super Mario Odyssey, which when Super Mario Odyssey was revealed, I was like, okay, I don't know. I've wanted a 64 style game. I don't know if this is it. I don't know. And then now I'm like, no, this makes sense. This makes total sense. It's weird. It's also
We flip-flopped just a tiny bit. I'm still really excited about Odyssey, but I had a feeling that could have been my game of the year.
Ooh.
I'm peeling it back just a little bit because at the Treehouse, they showed those open world elements. And I don't know if I want that in a Mario game. I want to play it and see. I'm definitely playing it as a Mario game, but I don't know.
I'm happy that they're flipping kind of back and forth between that style and the other one, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
before,
fine.
yeah.
It's just like they were talking about, there's 3 types of currencies in this, and one's strictly for the town, and one's like a shop, and I was like, I don't ever want. And then they showed the Mario gameplay, and I was like, that's what I want.
I forgot to send it to you, but read the. There's a write up on. So Nintendo Treehouse has been doing this blog on Tumblr that's just members of Treehouse kind of writing about things that they've done, which is really cool because Nintendo hasn't been that transparent ever. Like they keep everything so close. But Bill Trennan, the head of Nintendo America, the translation team, Treehouse, thank you, Jesus, wrote a whole big long thing about Super Mario Odyssey, its creation, and about how it's a study in, I'm gonna butcher this, Hikonawa or Hinakawa, I don't remember. But essentially another idea of garden in a box or the idea of bonsai and that kind of thing, and how Mario 64 was the origins of that, and this is the next evolution of that. But this specific type of gardening, again, I'm not going to try the name again because it's one of the two and I don't remember which one. This specific type is it's all about building a lot of detail in a little box. And that's how he kind of referred to Super Mario Odyssey and the development of it. It was all of these little tiny gardens that you just kind of get to go into. And hearing the way he wrote about it and stuff, I was like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. And then kind of going back to the Treehouse stuff, post-reading that, I was like, okay. You kind of get a little bit of insight into their vision for it, and then you see how it's come to life. And I think that made me appreciate it on a newer level. Again, it goes back to that same idea with Xbox. I like the story they're trying to tell with this Mario game. It's It's weird. Fucking Bowser's in a white tuxedo. Peach has a bouquet of piranha plants. There's a bridal party called Brutal, which, why not? It's, I don't know. It just looks so stupid and fun. All of the weird references, too. Like, I don't know if you guys have been seeing it pop up, but, like, all of the little costumes that Mario can get. Like, you think of anything Mario's ever worn, and it's in this game. Like, Mario Maker, check. The single time he wore a USA flag outfit on the cover of NES Open Tournament, like, yep, got it. Oh, that time he carried some cookies while wearing a chef's suit. Yep, check. It's in the game. Like, it's fucking dumb, and I think it's so cool. Just looks like I'm gonna lose myself in a dumb little Mario world.
I'm excited. No, yeah.
Good. Nintendo was very, very good. Yeah. I thought we'd just kind of check in with E3 and then move right to Now Playing. We spent a little time, so I say we take a little break. We'll come back, do some hot hits on Now Playing, and talk about what we've played in the last week. Be right back. Welcome back. It is time, my friends, for Now Playing, where we talk about what we have played in the last week, or, well, since we last met. Or just whatever, what you've been up to. If you don't mind, I'm going to throw a couple things out there.
Go for it.
I usually cast it out, but I'm going to pull it in.
Change it up. Shake it up.
Yeah, you got to
post E3. Let's go crazy.
I think I'm feeling the post E3.
Oh, there it is.
Call.
Smoke.
Yeah. Yep. Burning. So, Salt and Sanctuary. It's a 2D Dark Souls, essentially. Right? For all intents and purposes, that's the easy way to describe it. It's the way developers describe it themselves. You're side-scrolling through a world. You come across things. You kill them. You collect salt. And if you die, you have to go back and collect that salt. If you die on the way there, that salt's gone forever. That's the idea, but it's whatever.
What's it on?
PS4 and Vita, and it's cross-buy.
Cool.
So $17.99. I think it's also on Steam.
It is. It is on Steam.
Yeah. But yeah, I picked it up the other night. I was watching, Katie and I were sitting down to watch a movie. Put on Big Eyes, Tim Burton movie about...
Big Eyes.
What's her name? Catherine Keene? Margaret Keene? I don't know. She painted. Her husband said he was the painter. Got all the fame while she was the one actually with the talent. He was just a liar and a piece of shit. It was a really good movie. Amy Adams and Christoph Waltz. But while watching Big Eyes, I downloaded this game with characters with big eyes. And just got lost in it a little bit. Because I wanted something that I could half pay attention to and still watch the movie and be okay. And this is perfect little Vita thing. But then as I got into it, I was like, pulling myself out of the movie. I was like, oh shit, I gotta stop. I gotta come back to it. But yeah, fun. Like, I got to my first boss battle, got my ass kicked. But you can already see, like, okay, there's patterns I gotta follow. It's the same thing. It's just on a 2D plane. It was refreshing to kind of dive into that. There's different classes you can choose, different weapons you unlock along the way, and different sort of tasks and things you have to do. It seems like you can
in a hub world.
Yeah,
it's called the Hunter's Dream.
Basically,
blood of the fountain.
I wish.
What's the visual style look like though? Is it like 8-bit style or is it like 2.5D?
It's all hand drawn art. It's actually pretty unique style. All of the studio, Ska Studios is the name of them. They all have a very similar visual look to it. The artist is all the same on it. It's a very specific identity, but I'll hand you this. You can kind of flip through.
Oh, cool.
I've seen this. I've seen this game before.
I like this.
It looks good. Parts of it, I'm not in love with visually.
Such
The
as
first boss, that little thorn guy,
let me see.
black thorn guy.
No. First boss is like a dumb little. I don't think that's him. No.
cool.
But yeah, it's a neat little game.
I didn't know it was on Vita. That's interesting.
So it came out on PS4 last year, and then the developers, when they originally were putting it together, it's a 2-person team. It's a husband and wife that do the games. They were like, we're going to launch on PS4 and Vita same day.
Yeah.
And
Are
they
you
were
sure
like,
it's not just the wife doing it and giving the husband the credit?
oh, shit. Wouldn't that be fucked up?
Yeah.
I mean,
you
hey.
just said it was fucked up, and you just bought right into it.
Oh, man. Synchronicity, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, they work on this. She probably works on it all. So she works on this game. But they were like, hey, yeah, we're going to put it on PS4 and Vita the same day. And they were like, oh, shit, that's harder than it seems. So they actually, the same people who did the port of Axiom Verge from PS4 to Vita, and a couple other things that I'm forgetting now.
Sweet ass time with Axiom Verge.
Yeah. But those people took over the port of this, finally got it out this March, like late this March. And I've been staring at it for a really long time and just never jumped on it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm doing it.
On Vita, that's interesting. I haven't picked up my Vita in months.
I think this could be a good Vita game for you.
All right.
If you're feeling that Bloodborne itch, which I know you are.
I have been the last couple weeks, yeah.
It's got that.
I can't do.
It's got those hooks in it. Not all the way there. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that, right? But it's got those similar hooks. It's a slow start, but once you get into that world, I think you'll kind of let it go. Or you could jump in and let it die.
I did that.
You didn't really.
I mean, this was a while ago, but yeah.
You didn't really do it.
Hey, I got that DLC now.
I know.
That's just sitting there waiting.
I'm just saying. So Little Salt and Sanctuary, I think it's good. It feels really good on Vita. I haven't tried it on PS4 yet, but I'm sure it's nice, big, expansive. Played some more Theater Rhythm, Final Fantasy Curtain Call. That game gets a little deeper as you go into it. So last week I talked about how you're just kind of, you can pick from random songs or you can go on these quests. So I've started to do more and more of the quests, and they take you on through a variety of different songs between field songs, battle songs, and boss battles. And it's just really fun. The boss battles get really fucking cool and intense. That everything just kind of comes together in the right way. It's just a fun little rhythm game.
I didn't realize it came out as long ago as it did.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Now rhythm game. I didn't ask this last week. Is it like tapping buttons? Is it directional? Is what?
Both.
Okay.
So yeah, it's basically, imagine the Rock Band highway, right?
Yep.
But going from left to right without the highway, so to speak.
Okay.
Right. It's just little circles.
Okay.
Moving across the screen.
Oh, it's like Britney Spears dance beat. Got it.
Sure, yeah. All of your characters are lined up on the right-hand side, and each of the things that are kind of flying across are going to correspond with each of your characters. You don't need to hit a specific button as they're going across. You just need to hit it in time with it connecting with your character, except there's a couple modifications or variations in how these come across. There are the ones that are simple, just click a button and it goes. And it can be any of the 4 face buttons. There's then ones where you need to press and hold and let go at the right time. And you'll see like a long line. There are ones where you have to use the analog stick or analog slider in the 3DS and push in a direction. It could be one of 8 directions.
Ooh, 8, okay.
That's kind of cool.
Then there's variations on that. So there's ones where you have to press and hold the thing and move the stick up or down along a curved line and keep that along with the curve. Finally, there's one where at the very end of a line where you're holding it, you have to then fire off in a specific direction. So there's a couple different things that will challenge you, keep you kind of paying attention and moving your hands a little bit. It's just fun.
2 things. One, I need to correct myself. Britney Spears dance beat was circular. I apologize to the viewers.
God damn it.
2, you have this physically?
I do. Where are you at with this
Well, I said it earlier. I was in the Target yesterday.
Yes. Oh yeah, you did. I forgot to follow up on that.
And then I went searching for a 3DS, just like pricing it.
Yes.
And then
Shits and gigs.
That Metroid game, man, that really got me.
He's talking about Federation Force. That's the
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're saying like there's this catalog there, and that game sounds fine. Does it have 13 music in it?
I don't want to answer that question right now.
Counter question: does it have Jet's music from Final Fantasy X?
Dude,
Ooh.
literally every song from Final Fantasy is in this game.
All right. Well, I think that answered my question
Maybe
about
not
13 and Jet song.
Maybe not literally every. But, like, there are a lot. We could look at the full track. There's over 200 different tracks, and there's DLC for like a couple bucks a piece. You unlock even more because they kept adding to it after the game came
All
out.
right. You know what song I'm talking about, right?
I know exactly.
Okay.
What
All right. Good.
Battle with Seymour is another good one from 10.
Mm-hmm. You need to play 10.
I know. I'm
You also need
working
to
my
play
way
7.
backwards.
Why?
Give me some time.
I'm going to be excited for when you play 7 because I want to give you that retranslation.
Oh, yeah. We talked about that. Yeah. 7's coming. 7 will be this year at some point.
I can't believe he doesn't know
I don't know any of
a major plot point in 7.
Oh.
I can't believe.
All right. Anyway.
Huh. Okay.
It's like, how do you go around avoiding that? Accidentally.
Hey.
I can...
So moving on. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna build you the. This is gonna be my side project. I'm gonna build you the definitive 3DS catalog for you, tailored specifically for you. I'm gonna build it.
So Federation Force.
Yeah, number one. That's number one on the list.
I got 2 games. There's definitely 2 games. 4 games right off the bat.
What are 4? Yeah.
Mario Golf.
Yeah.
Super excited to play that.
And see, fuck you, because if you get that, that means I gotta get that, because I never bought it.
Oh, he just threw money at that piece of garbage.
No. I'm not saying fuck you in a bad way. I'm saying fuck you like, thank God, because I've been wanting to play Mario Golf, but there's no one to compete against because nobody else wants it.
So yeah, Mario Golf.
Okay.
The Metroid game that will be coming out.
Yeah.
Box Boy 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Box Boy and Box Boy.
And Bye Bye Box Boy.
Oh, that's right. That came out. Well, let's play the first 2. Let me see how I like it. It looks like something up my alley. But
yeah. Now, if you hurry up, you could probably get it on Amazon with the included Amiibo physical cart.
And I will wait gladly, so I don't have to get that piece
just
of
do it
fucking
digitally. Got it.
shit
Okay.
Amiibo.
Yeah. And then what's 4? Oh, Box Boy.
Yeah,
the
Box
2.
Boy. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, I'll get you a good list.
See, I just want to spend all that money at one time, but I feel like if I got a Metroid,
again though, my idea
and a Mario
is
Golf,
I want to be able to build you that list so that you, because again, to go back to way earlier, the thing that's exciting to me about this stuff is that it's
3D Land. I forgot about that one.
Oh yeah, you did. There's a whole. This stuff it's gonna keep going, right? It's not just because the Switch is out doesn't mean that we can't go back and play something from 1986. Just because 3DS is a few years old at this point doesn't mean it's not a great time to buy this. And they keep coming out and saying like, no, we got plans to keep supporting this thing past 2018. Go fuck yourself.
I think I'll wait for the 2DS though. I think I'll
The
take
2DS
the extra
XL?
$50 for the 3D because I looked at that Metroid 3D and it kind of was like, whoa.
I'm gonna
Like it's cool, but like,
you
I
gotta
don't think I
play
need
a couple other things on my system. Like that was I went back and looked at that trailer head on and I was kind of like, it did a couple things. There's a couple games where like 3D Land really does it well. There's some other things. Anyway, yeah, to jump back into now playing.
Bravely Default also does it pretty well.
Yeah.
That's pretty in 3D.
Yeah, I need to go back and play that too.
How many times? You have to play it like 12 times.
I won't go back and play that. Wolfenstein: The New Order. Bethesda announced the Wolfenstein 2.
The new Colossus.
Coming out. And I was like, shit, I never played that first one. I love id. I know it's not id, but like having just read Masters of Doom and being all about like their whole thing.
Library.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, let me fucking get it. And then perfect timing. It's on sale for $10 on PlayStation Network. I jumped in and the beginning, you warned me, a little slow. And then as it started to pick up, I was like, all right, I'm going to see this through. Let's just get through it. Let's just get through the opening. Let's get excited. Okay, game's got to install. Great. Waited this long for it to download. Okay, let's let it install. But it finally come back, jump into it, and then get there. You get going a little bit. I'm not going to spoil things because it's got a really, really cool, like, once you get through it, once you get it going, it's some cool story beats, but it just feels really fucking good to shoot things. Like, I'm not the first-person shooter guy, but it's just, you need that kind of stuff every once in a while. And this is a good one to jump into if you're going to do it. Not quite Doom.
I warned you. I said it's tough to come to it after Doom, but
I'm just reiterating that for the listeners. If someone's like looking at it right now and they're like, "Oh yeah, shit, that game's still on sale. I should probably buy it. I love Doom." It's not quite Doom, but it feels really good. It's fun to run around the. I don't know, man. Just the gunplay is fun.
I mean, you go all over the place in that game. That's what's really cool. Like at the end of the day, I know you're not there yet, but I mean, gunplay feels nice. The weapons themselves. I don't remember anything standing out, but I remember liking the weapons as I played through.
They just feel good to shoot. Like they have a good. I mean, again, it's weird because you're holding a controller, but they have a good weight in your hand. Like it's just.
Story's not half bad, but there is a villain that you hate.
Yeah, fuck him, man.
So like that is just innovation. Just kill Nazis right there.
Tried to burn me.
Yeah. So. It delivered in many different ways.
Yeah.
There are two mechanics I love the most in that game. I think you got a taste of them at this point. One is that damn lean mechanic. I don't know what it is about.
I haven't had a taste of it.
Yeah, it's just a matter of holding a button and leaning.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
All right, well, fuck you.
You got to remember, I'm an idiot with first-person shooters, so I just run out in the middle of it. And I'm like, where you guys at? Where you guys? Hey! And they're all opening fire. Like I had to repeat a lot of stages over and over again because I don't know. Let's go over here.
We have to dial it back to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I had a PC that could run a few things.
Yes.
Q and E. Little leaning motion.
Yeah. Okay.
Little leaning motion. To have that finally on a console that with a button that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Ugh.
How do you do it? What do you hit?
I think it was like L1.
Okay.
It was one of the top buttons. You hold it in and then you can't move while doing it, but you'll do everything. Like you'll go the full 360.
Can I shoot?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then great, perfect.
Oh yeah, just go.
Yeah, but can
just
you
go
quack?
the corridor.
Can you fuck like a? Yeah.
But then that, and then the clear out the area, so like you can kind of sneak around and kill like the head dude in an area, and that wouldn't raise any alarms.
Right.
Or like you fuck up and the alarms, and then it's all these Nazis start coming, and then game kind of gets hard a little bit if you're not careful.
Yeah, there were a couple areas where I knew where the commander or whatever.
I forget how to phrase it. Yeah.
I knew where that guy was, but I was like, fuck, I can't get to him before someone else sees me. And as soon as they see me, they're like, yo! And a dude comes out and he's like, oh shit, call them all in. And then it's just like, it's just got a lot harder.
Just a lot of Nazis wanting to kill you.
But it's very fun. It's fun. Story's goofy.
He's not the best character. I'll be the first to admit that, but he's a bro, sure.
But it's
you hate that villain so much, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's what drives you. And then ARMS. Speaking of lean mechanics, ARMS came out, and I bought ARMS, and I almost didn't buy ARMS. There's two things that sold me on it.
Left arm and the right arm?
Exactly. Middle of the week, Nintendo did a tournament at E3 on ARMS, and they brought out the producer of the game to play it, and had him go up against the winner of the competition. It was a cool whatever, and seeing how into this game the producer of it was, seeing that they're making Nintendo's allowing more of their younger developers to come out and kind of face the stage and all of that stuff. I was like, why am I being so dismissive of this game? I did the same thing with Splatoon, and I love Splatoon, and I'm kind of doing this with ARMS in a way because it's weird and new, and it's not my characters that I know and love, and I feel like part of me is only doing it for that. I like fighting games. Punch-Out's great. This seems like Punch-Out on Switch with new weird characters. I didn't hate what I played in the Test Punch demo. I just hated the times that they scheduled it because I could never fucking play it. Why am I upset about this? And that was still not enough to like push me over. And then I said to Katie, I was like, hey, Friday night, what time are you gonna be home? What do you want to eat for dinner? And she said, it's been a while since we've made sushi. Let's make sushi. And I said, I'm on board. Do you want to play ARMS? And I didn't tell her I bought it. I just said, do you want to play ARMS? And she went, oh yeah, that's the new fighting game. She's like, yeah. I like Min Min, the ramen girl. And I was like, oh shit, okay. She remembers.
I didn't even know that.
Right? And I was like, okay, cool. Because in my head, I'm thinking, it's 4 buttons, really. Right punch, left punch, jump, and dash.
Not
and
if you're trying to change colors. It's like 8 buttons.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
And I was like, let's do it. That could be, because I can only get her to play like so many things per year with me. And if this is one of them where we can like have a little bit of dumb fun every now and then, it's worth the $60. So I pulled the trigger, bought it, and we fired it up last night after a delicious homemade sushi meal. And at first I was like, all right, let's do the tutorial. And I'm going to let her win a few. Because I know how she is. She gets way too competitive. This happened last year when we were playing Pokemon. And I threw down, I forget who it was.
Blue Eyes White Dragon?
What? It was... I forget the card I threw down, but it was something where like it was a ghost,
Red Eyes Black Dragon.
It was a ghost Pokemon that couldn't be hit, and I had this super powerful card that would just fuck you up. She got mad. She threw her cards down, walked upstairs, took a shower, and we never played Pokemon again, ever. And anytime I try and bring it up, she's like, throw the cards in the trash. She just hates it. So I knew if I had started this by just pummeling her, I was never going to play this game with her again. So it's like I need to let her win a few. And halfway through the first match of me thinking like I should go easy on her, I was like, oh shit, she's got it. Okay, I can do this a little bit. I can go. And I couldn't catch back up after the first match. She won. All right, let's go with part 2. And part 2, I was like, I'm going in. Like she seems like she's got this down. It's a simple enough control scheme.
Beat that ass.
Right. I'm gonna beat. Oh shit! I just spiked the mic a lot. I got this. Nope. And she beat me like 5 times in a row, and I'm increasingly getting more and more into it. Like I got it. I gotta do it, and I'm like giving it everything I've got at this point, and she's just fucking me up. And then eventually I kind of get there. I won one, but she had the majority of the fights, and I was like, okay, I didn't have to go easy at all. And now it's like we went to bed, just kind of shit talking as we're like falling asleep, and then today call her at lunch. Hey, how's your day? Cool, you're terrible at ARMS. Like just playful banter already. Like it's that thing where I'm like, okay, this is dope. This is enough for me to be super excited about it. And then I don't know, the characters are weird and dumb and fun, and Helix, right?
Is that his name? Gumby.
Yeah, Helix.
Gumby.
It's
got the best seagull noises.
so weird.
So ironically, that's fitting because my college mascot was a seagull. So like this is my character.
But yeah, I like ARMS a lot. I gotta play a little bit more online and kind of see how that is. I came home for lunch as I do, played a match or 2 online, or more than that actually. But I kept playing, and this game does have that thing about it where the matches are so short that you have that like, I'll do one more. Yeah. I'll just do one more. Like Splatoon, you don't really have that because Splatoon matches, they are 3 minutes and they're quick, but the time you gotta wait for it to like load up, everybody fill into the party, get it going, blah, blah, blah. Like there's a bit of length to it, but this is kind of just like, I don't know, it can get so close sometimes. You're like, fuck, I gotta go one more. I gotta win, especially if you lose. If you lose, you're like, I need that one more redemption.
It's Rocket League. It's Rocket League in a nutshell.
Yeah. And it's all those things. Like they just, that stuff gets us hooked in me. Like Spelunky was the ultimate, like, I was so close. It's that mentality. You guys played it before we recorded. What'd you think?
It was fun. The controls were weird.
Yeah. You and I primarily did motion.
Yeah, but they were weird. Like, controls were weird, but I got used to them surprisingly quickly.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's quirky and weird and just silly.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things of just stupid fun that you just need.
Yeah, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's not like Injustice where you have to memorize 30 combos and how to string those combos together and then when to use. It's just like fucking punch. And it's simple, but that simplicity kind of like lends itself to something more. Like a little bit of that dive kick idea of just like, it's 2 buttons, dude. But you can make those 2 buttons do so many things. It's just, yeah. What do you think?
It was fine.
I know.
It's not $60. It might be better at $30. But then, like,
keep in mind, free DLC.
Great.
They're not going to. I'm gonna scream.
You're gonna name all the stuff. I'm gonna say another game that does it, and we're gonna end it at that.
Oh, God damn it. Characters.
Okay.
Maps.
Okay.
Game modes.
Okay.
All that shit for free.
Cool.
Go ahead.
Besides characters,
mm-hmm.
Quote, cars, Rocket League does all that. And it's cheaper. Anyway, no, it's fine. If anything, I got out of it. 1, I know how to not map controls to a pro controller for this game. And 2, I kind of want another Fight Night from EA.
Oh, God. I don't want anything else from EA after that fucking.
No, Fight Night Champions was good.
I know,
very good. No, I mean it was fine. Like you see, you have the advantage of like you're gonna have this little rivalry with Katie now. I don't see my sister fucking punching air. I don't see my parents who have never even played a video game console in like 15 years. Making ARMS is the game that brings them back to a video game.
But it might. Like,
it's not. No, it's just like there's not. It's going to be either me playing online and getting really frustrated over another game. Like I get frustrated enough over Rocket League. I can't do this to myself with another game. That and baseball just frustrate me to no end.
Yeah. But don't forget, there's no crying in baseball.
There isn't. There's a lot of yelling and screaming at the TV, though, in baseball. And then, like, it doesn't seem like there's a deep single-player mode. So, like, I can't bring myself to spend $60 on this.
The thing about ARMS is that's like a perfect party game.
Exactly. Like, I have no problems coming over here and playing it, or if it drops down to 30 and someone comes over to my house and wants to play it. Like,
so what about $30 makes it to the point where suddenly that's a game that you want to play?
I think at $30 I can bring myself to spend that much money to maybe play like a lackluster single player and maybe play a few games online. And
I don't understand why cutting the cost in half suddenly makes you want to play something. Like, if you don't like the way it plays, then you don't like the way it plays. But if you like the way it plays, then what does the cost matter?
Because I feel like I can get a better bang for my buck somewhere else. See, this is where we think differently with money. You just don't throw money. I just don't throw money at garbage like you do with that game right there. I smartly spend my money.
It's fair, but again, if you try something and you like it, I feel like
it's fine. It's fine when I'm playing you, Sandeep, or you, Joe, or Mark, or a Friday Night Pizza Party.
Yes.
I don't see myself playing it for very long, single player wise. If I got it, I would play it single player. It's just, why spend $60 on it when I can wait, have no problem waiting, when I can get it for $30 if it ever drops down to $30?
I can sort of see what you mean, though. It is a game that's a lot more fun if you've got people around you who are playing it too, and like you can play it with them. If you don't, then I mean,
yeah.
Gameplay's, like, mechanically it's fine. It is what it is.
I don't think I'd be playing this online. And again, like, it took me the fact of, like, of having someone go, like, yes, I will play that. Where I was like, okay, cool, I'm in.
And also, the other thing is, why am I going to spend $60 on another game that's just going to be pushed right back to my backlog right now?
Yeah, I get that.
Because
I know,
we'll get into it with it, but like
let's
I'm
do
still
it.
finishing up the game.
That's everything. Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, wait, can I ask a quick question before we close that one out? Have you played online yet?
Yeah.
How is it? Is it
the online's actually pretty rad. If anyone played the test punch, it works very similarly. So you kind of jump into a pool. It just throws you in, maybe 8 players. And then it randomly pairs you up. I haven't done ranked. I just did the regular mode. So I don't know if ranked is just a specific game mode. But it'll randomly pair you up or partner you in 3s or even 4s. And you'll go through different strings of game modes. So it might be 1-on-1. It might be a 3-person free-for-all. It might be a 3-way team battle against a boss character. It could be basketball. It could be volleyball. They have different, modes there, or the target practice. All that stuff can kind of happen at random. And it just kind of like, it'll randomly assign you. You drop in, then you drop back out, and you're in the lobby. Other people might be in the middle of their games, and you're kind of waiting for a minute.
Yeah.
But it was good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How's the connection?
Fine.
Yeah, that's really more what I was.
Oh, sorry.
No, but that was good.
I have had no problem, and again, like that Switch has a weird Wi-Fi signal in it where it looks like I have no signal or reception, but totally fine.
Cool.
My router's on the 3rd floor. I'm in the basement.
See, I wasn't concerned about the infrastructure until a game called Rocket League was announced.
No, I don't have a problem with it at all. I think it's good.
Oh yeah, but speaking about that backlog,
Yes.
Mass Effect.
Yeah.
This game is the fucking game that keeps on giving.
Oh.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It sounds like a bad thing. 'Cause you're not seeming to have any fun with it.
I'm just, right now, at this point, I'm doing it more for the site. Because I'm dedicated to writing a good review.
I'm telling you, as creator, editor-in-chief,
Nope, I've spent this much time with it. I'm giving you a review.
It's okay if you don't finish this game.
I am giving you a review, and the only thing it has going for it at this point is a story. The main story is not that bad. The main little story arc, the priority missions.
Sure.
There are some tough choices that game makes you go with, and that's going to be a little sidebar of my review. I am never in a million years going back to play this game to do the other decisions. I've created 15 different saves in case I wanted to do that. Every time I manual save, I just make a new one.
Yeah.
Right.
There is no way I'm touching this game ever again after
Really?
this story. If there's a sequel and they approve upon it, maybe I'll have those saves to carry over. But Mass Effect 2, I've tried to jump back into. Mass Effect 3, I tried to jump back into. Up in the difficulty and playing through it, maybe make a couple other decisions. But
Not feeling it?
Never with Andromeda. Is almost to the point where I'm going to trade it in with my Bloodborne and maybe get something else on the discount.
Dang.
Once I'm done with it.
Dang.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's not very well polished. It's less polished than the first game. And if you ever played the first game, gameplay was not its main thing. It was a very good story about Commander Shepard coming together, introducing the human race to this, group of people, all these other different alien species, and identifying a threat and trying to band together all these alien races through politics and things like that to take down the Reapers, which ends up being a trilogy of games, which is one of the best stories ever told until the last 30 minutes of Mass Effect 3. And I see what Andromeda is doing for it, and it's almost like an analogy of this game is about this group of aliens going to explore this totally new galaxy that only they had no way of knowing what was going to happen to them. And it's kind of like this team. It's a new BioWare team working on a Mass Effect, and I have not read all of Jason Schreier's article yet on Kotaku about the development of this game, but from the brief part of it I've read, it sounded like they went through development hell just like Scott Ryder's kind of going through in his galaxy. It's kind of a nice analogy in a way, but I just wish the gameplay was better, because it'd be a nice little story if it was good. But it's just the combat's not well polished. I feel like I'm dying to more bullshit reasons than I am my fault.
Yeah.
But I will say the main story missions keep me coming back. I feel like I need to do at least the loyalty missions, those missions that make the squad become my squad and, have them gain my trust to maybe have a good ending. So I feel like I have to do those. But after that, I'm if you give me a bullshit task, I'm not doing it. Yeah. Unless I run into it on the planet that I'm
accidentally.
in. But I'm not traveling from planet to planet, because I described it last week. Those loading screens, they're becoming more and more relevant as I keep going through the game, and I have to bounce back and forth, and it's just I timed it. It takes me only a minute and a half to get from planet to planet to where I need to go, but it's too long. I'm looking at loading screens the entire time.
Yeah,
and I find myself playing my trash Family Guy game on my phone as I travel from planet to planet, going through all these loading screens.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
No,
I've actually fallen off the mobile app because I'm not having fun with this game anymore. But yeah, I I hope I'm getting towards the end soon, but just from some of the story arcs of the characters and like the romance things,
Right.
Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3 are very good at like, hey, if you like officially were together with one of your squad mates, like you're at the end of the game just about.
Yeah.
I have not gotten there with any of my squad mates yet, so like it's.
Have you been like doubling down on any of them to try and like aggressively reach that
There's
point?
been one from the start. I was like, oh, that character is going to be the one, and no.
Maybe that's just another.
We kissed, but that was about it.
Maybe that's another analogy. You know, maybe it's another. Just because you choose it from the start doesn't mean it's the one close to your heart.
Sure, whatever. I'm just kind of. Part of it is because I'm forcing myself to play this. It's like I'm not.
I know.
Like I feel like if I gave it a break and revisited it back in 2 months, I'd have a total different perspective on it again. Like kind of like a fresh start.
Or worse, or,
I think better.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just at the point where. And I get this way with some RPGs. As I go through like this 100%, like I burn myself out. I've burned myself out officially, I feel like. And now I'm just kind of keep going back just to say I beat it.
I get that. There's those things, that, even outside of games.
Because I actually did that with Mass Effect 2. And Mass Effect 3 to a degree. Like, I played them, and I got to a point where like either something else new came out, or...
It was the last 30 minutes of Mass Effect 3 that you're talking about.
No, it was actually like towards the beginning of Mass Effect 3. I started playing it. I was like, this is what I want, just not right now.
Right.
But like when I came back to it, I enjoyed it, and I was enjoying it when I left the game. It was just something else came out probably.
You think that's gonna happen with this?
Hell no.
Okay.
Not a chance.
All right.
But yeah, so I'm still playing that.
Are you gonna reward yourself when you're done with something good?
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot June 30th.
All right. Very good.
A good game.
Yeah.
But no. I've started playing it before E3, but after E3, I've had probably my 15th renaissance with this game since its release. And when 2015, Rocket League.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
Whew. God damn, that game is so fucking good. Car kicking a ball, not even kicking a ball, just into a goal. Who would have thought that little game could be as good as it is? It's just something that the physics are so good. There's just the right amount of gravity on that ball. There's just the right amount of strategy and random ass luck.
Yeah.
I love that game. I truly love that game. And it's you would think I'm better at it than what I am, but I'm really not. I'm like average at best.
You still primarily just do 3v3 online?
I usually check 2 boxes, and whatever one I land in, I'm happy with. So it's like the solo standard, where solo standard is 3v3, but there's no parties allowed.
Got it.
So I check box that, and I like just the open field of doubles. Now there's no like solo doubles, so there's a chance I see a team of 2, and sometimes that sucks, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
But then it also could be like I get matched up with someone who's like really fucking good and just carries me the entire way, which I'm fine with. Yep. I'll give them all the credit when that time's due, but there are other times where like I just get dragged down because the teammate's just not. And then there's other times where someone's like, we're all on even like things, but just a lack of communication. Like we both go for a ball when one of us should drop back and defend the goal, and I kind of wish I had like a partner more regularly for doubles, but yeah, I still just enjoy doing it. No matter how frustrated I get with that game, if I lose 4 in a row, like I will always come back to that game.
Anytime you need me, just let me know.
Oh, I will put you on the wait list with 0 in line.
Dying for a partner. Hey, here I am. Let me think about it.
Yeah, Joe likes to, first of all, he doesn't even do the ball cam, which is strike 1. He just follows his car, which is like rule 1, should do some ball cam. And then rule 2, after we're down 1-0, after 2 minutes, just like to fly through the air.
That's it.
Not even towards the ball, just flying through the air.
It's fun to fly.
Like no one ever was.
It's fun. There's a video on the site. You can go watch that. YouTube.com. Hey, we talked about that on the podcast, right? All the YouTube stuff got an overhaul?
Yeah.
Cool.
We mentioned
Great.
that last
week. Go check it out. Thanks, bye. Yeah.
But yeah, Rocket League, I had a little renaissance with that. So I've been putting in, like, is weird. Rocket League, like I'll always kind of sort of play a game here and there, but then there's these times where I just have like a little renaissance with it, and it would become my primary game that night where I will play for 2-3 hours, like blocks.
I have that every time I jump back into it. I will get back into it, but not my flow with it doesn't happen as frequently as yours. My cycle is a little bit spread out.
And sometimes just like
you might be orbiting in the way that like Mars orbits. I'm kind of like Neptune, you know. It's like I'll come around every once in a while.
Oh, is it in retrograde?
Yes, here I am.
Cool.
And then sometimes just like a new mode, like I'll like the hoops one was a perfect example.
Yeah.
Like I don't like the basketball one at all, but it got me to turn on the game again, and I was like, oh, this mode's not good, but I know what mode works for me, and then I just get back into it, and it becomes my game for like a week or two.
It's all part of the plan.
It's really good, and I can't wait for it to come out on Switch. And I will be playing on both sides because I'm going to have 2 separate profiles. I need to get up in the ranks.
Controller in one hand, controller in the other hand.
That'd be impressive.
Yeah.
Wait for those loading screens then, you know?
I can't wait for it to come out on Switch.
One day. Soon.
Holiday.
It's true. Sandeep.
Hey-o. So my list is going to be really short. I'm in the middle of 2 games right now, and by in the middle of, I mean like I'm like 15 minutes into both.
Yes, but
Thing number 1, Mother 2.
Haven't heard of it.
Yeah. Well, I say Mother 2 and not Earthbound because I seem to be a really big fan of like retranslation patches recently. But I found a retranslation patch of Mother 2, and it just kind of fixes, or it just, I don't know, it's closer to the Japanese, like the original Japanese, and it fixes some of like the things that they censored in the US release. That's really cool.
Oh no, I just want to pause you. You
Yeah.
keep saying the word two.
Two?
It's weird. I don't usually hear the word two after mother on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
So there is a mother 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So
That's what makes 3 so good.
Yeah, so Mother 1 was released in Japan. Mother 2 was released in Japan and came to the US as Earthbound.
Mother 3 is coming out later this year in the US, but came out 2006 on 4/20 2006.
Ooh, of course.
For
But
the Game Boy
24 for
Advance.
them.
Right. Yeah.
That's cool. It's quirky, it's silly, it's funny so far. And from everything that I've heard, it's going to continue to be that, but it's also going to start to get really introspective and just I hate to use the word deep, but like really deep.
You're going to get to a point where you're going to go, wait, hold on, this is a kid's game?
Yeah.
What? How the fuck?
Yeah.
What would I have been had I played this when I was a boy?
Yeah.
So you've made it to the first town? Onet?
I think I'm just... I just met Buzz.
You just met Buzz?
I just met Buzz, so I think I'm just before Onet.
So you didn't go back home yet?
No.
No,
I'm literally like 15 minutes into
all right,
that.
there we go.
Okay.
All right.
That's cool. That's fun.
Cool.
That's thing number 1. I'm excited to play more.
I'm really excited for you to play that for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But also, one, because like that was a game for so long you could hear people talk about it and kind of.
I mean, it's iconic. It's like me telling you to play Final Fantasy VII.
Exactly, and then like when I finally played it, it was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
And I don't get it in a way that like 6 guys get it, but like I get it in the way that like I get it, and I know that you will get it in that same way, and that's where I'm excited for you to.
We'll have some good talks about that.
Yes, absolutely.
I like I knew about Ness, and I knew that Ness was from Earthbound, just from Super Smash. So I kind of knew what it was, and it was on the fringe for me. But I didn't know a lot about it until you started talking about it, Joe.
Yeah.
And then that got me more interested in it, and now I'm stoked to see how it all kind of like plays out.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So that's thing number 1. Thing number 2 is Xenogears. I had never played that before.
PS1.
PS1.
Oh yeah.
Music is done by Yasunori Mitsuda, who's the guy who did Chrono Trigger's soundtrack.
Okay, yeah.
Which is amazing. That's why I started playing it, actually, because I had on like a Pandora station for Yasunori Mitsuda, because I wanted to hear some Chrono Trigger music. And I kept on hearing other stuff, because he's got a really kind of distinctive style, and I kept on hearing other stuff, and I'm like, this sounds very Chrono Trigger-esque. So I was like listening on a smart speaker, so I would ask it like, oh, what song is this? And it kept on telling me for like all these songs that they were from the Xenogears soundtrack, and I'm like, that sounds awesome. I've heard that game is cool.
Yeah.
So I downloaded it, started playing. I'm only like 15 minutes into it, but that game apparently also, to overuse the word deep, gets really deep. So like it goes into like Jungian philosophy and like Freudian philosophy, and like does like all these things with religious symbolism.
Nice.
So I'm excited to see where that goes. And
that one has a bit of like a mech thing.
Yeah, it's got a mech thing. I'm not gonna try and butcher it by explaining it now. Maybe next time when I play it a bit more, I'll go more into it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty too. It's a really pretty game.
Yeah, I think because obviously Xenoblade followed that stuff.
Yeah.
And when that stuff started coming out, I remember talking to Akko about it and being like, what's the deal with this? Why am I supposed to care? And he was like, you never played Xenogears? What the fuck, dude? Dude, you gotta play this. It's like, I had never, but I looked into it a little bit, and I remember vaguely stuff about that, but never much detail. How's it? Is it 2D, 3D? What's it look like?
It's kind of like the PlayStation Final Fantasy games. It's also done by Square.
Got it. Yeah.
So it's like the pre-rendered backgrounds, and your 3D model walking through them, which I really like.
Yeah.
I really like pre-rendered backgrounds. There's just something about it. Maybe it's that little bit of like
nostalgia.
Yeah, kicking in from PS1
but they work
days.
really well.
They do. But yeah, that seems cool. I want to play more and talk more about it next time. That's the two things that I'm in. I need to go back and continue with Nier Automata, because I played that, got super into it.
Yeah.
And I forget what it was. I think like I went on like a vacation or something and stopped playing it for like 5 days straight. Forgot where I was and haven't gone back to it yet. But I need to finish that, because that game is also really special.
I'll give you a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. I hadn't taken as long of a hiatus as you have, but I started playing it, and something happened, and I think I went back to Zelda, and then I went back to Nier, and I was like, the controls aren't the same.
Yeah.
I don't know where I am. I gotta walk away.
Yeah.
And I walked away for a little bit, and then I just, and then I went back, and that's when everything suddenly.
Yeah.
So you can get back.
I can. See, the thing is, I've been playing it thus far without like looking up any strategy guides or anything.
As you should.
Which is awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
But I think what I need to do is try and remember where I am in the story and look up a strategy guide just so I can figure out, all right, well, where do I go next? Because I have no idea where I am.
Yeah. There's little objective markers. Not markers, but there's that. And then there's little bits of like side quests you can kind of pick up the tail. That's what I ended up doing.
Yeah. I think I also just need to go back and read what I've done so far in like a strategy guide just so I can like get back up to speed. Yeah,
they keep a good track of that, but what a fucking great game. That
music in that game too is so good.
Yeah. Oh my god. I texted you the other day.
Yeah.
I plugged my phone in my car, and it just started playing a song from that randomly, and I was just like, shit. I gotta go back and play more. Even though I've seen everything there is to see. I just Ugh.
And it's so replayable too.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it has to be.
Yeah. It has to.
It has to be.
Yeah, every ending in that. That's cool. I'm glad you're playing Xenogears. Honestly, I'm glad you're playing Mario.
I'm glad you don't need to look up strategy guys to see if your game's broken or not. Done that at least 4 times in Mass Effect. And I've been right all 4 times, so there it is.
Yeah. The only weird thing about Xenogears to me is I don't know why you would want to play that.
Why? You don't know why I'd want to play Xenogears?
I'm leading to something that we'll get to after a break. Okay. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our third and final segment. So, Jim Ryan needs to stop talking to the press. And this is in regards to what we just talked about before the break, where I said, why would anybody want to play Xenogears? Why would you want to play Xenogears? Because Jim Ryan, my now least favorite person who works for PlayStation, had
Not
this
Mark
to say.
Cerny?
No, I love Mark Cerny. Sad Jim Carrey. Oh man, I want to go eat sushi with him.
Knack 2.
Maybe he'll come over. We can make sushi and play Knack 2. Yeah, I'm all about
Co-op.
that. All right, so somebody interviewed, Time interviewed Jim Ryan and Sean Layden just before E3. Sup, guys? What you doing? Getting ready for E3? Cool. Video games. Let's chat. And what came up was backwards compatibility. Specifically, how backwards Sony is with backwards compatibility. Because you remember the PS3 launched with full backwards compatibility support.
Yep.
You could play PS2 games right on the disc, PS1 games right on the disc. The Slim model stripped the PS2 functionality, which was a loss, but cut costs, whatever. You could still pop CDs in and play your PS1 games. PS4 removed everything, all of it, all together. And where, PS3 had introduced PS1 classics and later PS2 classics, PS4 had not, and still has not really.
It's because they want you to sign up to their game streaming service.
Well, that's the thing. The game streaming service only supports PS3 games. Right. And things released on PlayStation Network in that era. Still doesn't support PS1 nor PS2. Now, they have started to convert PS2 stuff, but they're these full-out conversions of the games. They do a lot of work.
Trophy support, and
right.
It's hefty.
They're putting some work into it. It's more of an investment than it is just a digital platform.
God, we were coming through the PlayStation store the other day. What was that Rockstar bundle? That wasn't even the Grand Theft Auto 3 trilogy or the Grand Theft Auto trilogy. It was
like $80.
Oh God, yeah.
It was
and it was on sale too.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
I was there. Was I there? I think I was there for that.
Might have been. Yeah, it was like Bully. There was a couple of them. It was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? So when talking to Jim Ryan, he says, when we've dabbled with backwards. Let me try this again. When we've dabbled with backwards compatibility, I can say it is one of those features that is much requested, but not actually used much. That, and I was at a Gran Turismo event recently where they had PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4 games. And the PS1 and PS2 games, they looked ancient. Like, why would anybody play this?
That just sounds silly.
It's completely silly. It's incredibly silly. Why would anybody say this is more important. What's really cool is that this follows Microsoft talking about how Xbox One's backwards compatibility with the Xbox 360 that opened up after last E3 has now reached 50% of its install base. So 50% of their console owners have taken advantage of Xbox 360 backwards compatibility. Yet, who would want to do that? When they added Call of Duty Black Ops 2 into that backwards compatibility, it re-entered NPD, which the
crazy
top video game sales period for that month. And for that month, when that entered backwards compatibility on a platform, the game is, I think at the time of it being re-released is 7 years old, I think, which is middle of last generation, right? No. Black Ops 2 was 2009. Am I wrong?
No.
2010?
No, that's sooner. So, hold on. Keep going. I'm going to do the math.
You do some math. Hot math.
He did the math. He did the monster math.
Oh, God. Again, though, right? A game that was part of last generation hits this, is now suddenly in the top 10 of video games.
5 years ago.
5 years ago. So it's 2012?
Yeah.
All right.
Because Black Ops 3 was not this
Got it.
November, the last one, yeah.
So, still, 5 years ago. In terms of modern video games, 5 years is not old enough to be retro and get excited about. It is not new enough to be like, oh, I should go grab that. There's usually something that looks better. It's stuck in that weird moment where it's not going to look great at all. But yet, top 10.
That was a really good Call of Duty, though. That was probably the last one I sunk a lot of time into.
Totally. But backwards compatibility. Why would anyone want this? Pre-rendered backgrounds with 3D polygonal sprites on top of it. Why would anybody want to play this? Why would anybody want to do that? It just seems stupid. And I don't know why Why at all? Like, that is the mentality.
Yeah.
You want to know? You want to know a little secret?
Go ahead.
On June 30th.
Oh, God damn you.
On hold on. On June 30th, that package did not come with a fresh set of paint. It was just the same games for $40 on a PS4.
Yes.
Guess what asshole would have that June 30th?
Right.
Me. Like, I want to replay the Crash games. That's
Yeah.
why I'm buying this trilogy.
And honestly, like,
I appreciate the new set of paint.
that's the
But,
thing,
like-
is there's room for a new set of paint, right?
But I was perfectly happy the other day when we were live streaming it.
Totally,
Like,
yeah.
it was awesome.
Absolutely. There's good reason to do that kind of stuff, and I think it works. We'll see it later this year with Metroid Samus Returns on 3DS, which immediately that remake has you ready to go throw money at a console that is 6 years old now, right? Mm-hmm. After you've bought its successor. It's still, there's merit to it, right? But there's also merit to going back and playing Metroid 2, the game it was based on. As obtuse as it might be to play it, as weird as it might be, as tough as that game is to play, generally speaking, it's still a weird experience to go have, and it's one that's worth having. And to just completely deny it for the sake of, well, I think it looks weird, it completely denies the history of this entire medium. It just, it's so frustrating. It's so aggravating. And then you have to think, like, why, I don't know, you start looking a little deeper, and things like Parappa the Rapper, Loco Roco, and Patapon that all just got remasters. Patapon's coming this summer, which is going to be best of the best, forget all the rest. But all of those things, right, like, why didn't we just do PS1 Classic Parappa? Why didn't we just do PSP releases on here? It's not like you can't emulate the PSP. People are doing it on the computer as we speak.
And it wasn't like they updated the gameplay either. Like, Parappa, for better or for worse, like that rhythm gameplay, like, is kind of half broken.
That's what makes it fun.
Right.
Yeah.
See,
it looks prettier, right? But it's it looked pretty on the PS1.
It's the same kind of argument that, like, somebody would say, like, well, why would kids want to read, like, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland when they've got Harry Potter?
Right. Yeah. It's because it's a classic. Because it's that thing. It's been around forever. Like, it just, I don't know. It just seems backwards. Like,
there's there's been that whole, like, renaissance of, like, retro love recently too, where, like, everybody's been, if they're not remaking retro games, they're making games that look like retro games. Yeah. So obviously there's something there.
Absolutely, and particularly the era that he's calling out and saying like, hey, car games, I want to play what looks hot and fresh.
This is also the era when there were kids who were too young to buy their own consoles and do that kind of stuff.
Right.
The games that they played, they're now at the age where they're buying consoles, and that's just easy money.
That's me. That's me. That's Like, I never owned. I mean, I played a lot of Warped, right? But that was because I borrowed it. Like, I never owned a Crash game.
Yeah.
As much as I love that franchise, so
you're at one.
This is it.
But I think, like, Gran Turismo 1, like, even if it doesn't look the way that we want a car game to look in 2017, there's still a novelty to it. There's still something to it. Some could argue the game plays better than some of the modern ones because of the things that they had to do to optimize it and whatever. Like,
I will argue for that.
Right,
I used to have a driving wheel for Gran Turismo on the PS1 driving.
I did too.
Mm-hmm. That thing was amazing. So this was, I think, pre-analog sticks, so you didn't have like you didn't have like analog, so you couldn't press left to varying degrees. Yeah.
Right.
So you turn your wheel like even a little bit of the way, it's just all the way left. Your car is just off the track. It was amazing.
Yeah, but
that's the practicality of it, though.
Yeah. But a lot of those games, like, you look at something now, and it might not run at a crisp 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
Back then, they had it easily. They knew how to optimize the hardware in a different way, and the hardware was something that could be optimized in such a way where it didn't have all these other things competing with it. Yeah. It just was what it was, and I don't know. It just seems so just fucking dumb.
That just seems like a completely like.
And I hope it's the opinions of one fucking idiot and not of an entire company, because this is back to the beginning of the show where I'm like, what story is Sony trying to tell now? Is it that we're going to remaster the things that we think are going to, make the most money and be the best things, or are we going to put out something as a legacy? Or are we going to put out something to kind of retain a history?
See, the thing is that I think they banked a lot of money on shit. What was the name of the
PlayStation Now.
No, but
Gaikai.
the company, Gaikai. When they
the
bought
acquisition
Gaikai, that
of
was
it,
a
yeah.
pretty expensive acquisition, if I remember.
At a time that Sony was hurting for money too.
And they were hurting for
Yeah.
money, and I believe it was $500 million. I think it was $480 million.
Yeah,
It's a lot of money.
which is a pretty big acquisition.
Yeah.
I
At least back then.
say.
I
Yeah.
mean, didn't now, but yeah,
But,
back
like-
then. And Sony was in the red for like multiple years in a row.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe they're betting the horse on just that whole kind of like cloud and like streaming model.
And I think that would be okay if, and only if, this stuff makes its way into PlayStation Now. I think we
Yeah.
talked about it a little bit because we brought this story up before. But if PlayStation Now is their answer to this, to backwards compatibility, fine. Sell me on it.
Yeah.
Tell me it's $20 a month. Tell me I
Yeah.
can't buy the games. Fine. But put PlayStation 1 games, put PlayStation 2 games, and do fucking everything. Put the entire library on there. Don't give me this cherry-picked thing and whatever. It needs to be what it needs to be.
Yeah.
But they're not doing that. It's
Yeah.
just PS3 games. And I don't know.
I mean, speaking about like the games, like you're picking and choosing to bring over. Like I'm gearing up to write a little piece for the site about Metal Gear Solid.
Right.
The first Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
It's a solid game.
It
Yes.
it's
One that you
it's a
one that you
masterpiece.
can't play. But also, who would want to play that,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Snake looks weird, Snake looks chunky, and you can't really read the faces of the enemies.
The controls are terrible.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you what, that game played just
Whose
fine on
footprints
PS3 when
are
I
these?
replayed it in college.
I know,
So I know, but it's
My first experience with that game was playing it. I had a PS1, but I wasn't at home. I was in London,
Mhm.
and I went to like a game shop, and they just had. I don't know why they had the US version of Metal Gear Solid there, but I bought it and was really excited to go home and play it. But I wasn't going to be home for like 2 weeks, so like I just downloaded a PlayStation 1 emulator on whoever's house I was at, like their computer, and just playing it on the computer.
Popped it up.
Perfectly happily.
Yeah.
This is in like the 90s, so I
Yeah.
don't know how it could handle like perfect PS1 emulation, but
PS1 they got really early.
they did get it pretty quickly.
Yeah. Some of the stuff they still can't do properly, but PS1 was one really early.
Yeah.
That was one thing, right? So that kind of led us into E3. And then during E3, two things happened. And the first thing happened during Microsoft's press conference, where they announced that Minecraft was, I think they had announced this before, but they brought it back up again. We're going cross-platform. We're doing it. And they showed a picture of a Nintendo Switch at the Microsoft
in
press
Minecraft
conference.
blocks.
Yeah, made of Minecraft blocks. But they showed the Nintendo Switch during their conference, the same conference where they revealed their hardware that they're going to sell this fall,
Yeah.
alongside this update that allows you to play Minecraft with anyone on the mobile versions, the VR versions, the PC version, or the Switch version, or the Xbox One version, but not the PlayStation version of Minecraft. And it was like, that's weird. What's going on there? And at first it was like, oh, I don't know.
It could be Microsoft owns it and they want
Right.
to alienate the
Who
PlayStation.
knows?
Yeah.
It's Minecraft, not your craft, so
And
Exactly.
right? It could be.
too
What's
much of a
happening,
stretch.
right? What's happening? Then we ignore it a little bit. We're like, okay, that's strange. Maybe there's more to come. I don't know. More to come indeed. Tuesday, during Nintendo, as Matt mentioned very excitedly, Rocket League coming to the Nintendo Switch, and along with it, cross-platform play on the Nintendo Switch. It's 2 Switch games. Nintendo, completely backwards company in terms of online infrastructure, modern sensibilities that keep up with the competition, and suddenly 2 cross-platform games and 2 of the biggest,
Huge.
right?
two pretty
Huge.
big ones.
2 of the big online games anyway, and they're going cross-platform. Again, cross-platform with everything except for PlayStation. What the fuck's going on? When you talk to the developers of Rocket League, they say, hey, we're ready to
I
go.
was going to say,
They
the
said,
systems are ready.
like,
They're pointing behind them like, the systems are ready.
everything's good. If we get the okay, we can almost literally flip a switch and have it up and running in less than a day. But Sony says no. And more, it just got to the point where it wasn't a matter of it's Sony saying no. So then we sort of think benefit of the doubt, right? We know how backwards the PlayStation Network is. That whole infrastructure itself is strange. It's why we still have weird PSN names that we've had for 15 years at this point.
Ugh.
Maybe 12. Right, but that's where we're at. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe they just can't handle it on their end. But then Microsoft says, no, actually, you have to sign into an Xbox Live account because we're going to actually host all the server stuff. So when you sign in, you're going to connect to our servers via your Xbox account. We're not doing anything. We just want you to sign in so we can take the server weight and not put it on the console manufacturers. And Rocket League, the same thing. Psyonix is doing that on their end. They're pulling the weight off. So it's not anything to do with PlayStation Network's infrastructure. And then our great friend, Jim Ryan, came out to talk again. And this one's a little longer, so I'm going to have you bear with me on this. But this is an interview with Eurogamer. And Eurogamer sits down and says, Minecraft works cross-platform between Switch, Xbox, and PC. Today, Rocket League was announced as working cross-platform between Switch, Xbox, and PC. Both don't work cross-platform with PlayStation. Now, is this Sony not playing ball? What is actually going on here? Jim Ryan. It's certainly not a profound philosophical stance we have against this. We've done it in the past. We're always open to conversations with any developer or publisher who wants to talk about it. Unfortunately, it's a commercial discussion between ourselves and the other stakeholders, and I'm not going to get into the detail of that on this particular instance. And I can see your eyes rolling. Period. Eurogamer. Well, you must see that PlayStation owners are upset. They want to play with Switch owners, PC owners, and Xbox One owners for these two big and important games, and they don't have an explanation why. That's what I'm getting at, really. Jim Ryan. Yeah. We've got to be mindful of our responsibility to our install base. Minecraft, the demographic playing that, you know as well as I do. It's all ages, but it's also very young. We have a contract with the people who go online with us, that we look after them, and they are within the PlayStation curated universe. Exposing what in many cases are children to external influences we have no ability to manage or look after is something we have to think about very carefully. Period. I'm going to pause on that. Just think for a second. Let that settle in what he just said.
You smell that? Smells like bullshit.
Eurogamer follows up. It doesn't seem to be a problem for Nintendo, perhaps the most mindful video game company of the protection of children. Period. Jim Ryan. Yeah, that's true. Everybody has to take their own decisions. We'll do that. Like I say, we have no philosophical stance against crossplay at all. Period. Eurogamer. Is this a done deal? Or are you leaving the door open perhaps? Jim Ryan. I don't think anything is ever a done deal. Anyone who is dogmatic in that manner is typically a fool. That said, to my knowledge, there is no live conversation ongoing at the moment.
Where the fuck's Jackie T?
I don't...
We need him with the fidget spinners and the blunts right now.
I know.
Right now.
It's this stuff that we got used to with Nintendo for years, and now fucking Nintendo's doing it.
Sony.
My thing is, he's saying about protecting, like, his audience. I'm part of the problem, PlayStation.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm horrible.
Right.
You've seen some of the aftermath. You've seen it in action in Dota.
It's disgusting.
I'm terrible.
See, I wish it was as easy as there being, like, one company that could handle cross-platform play between different platforms. See, that would be the dream. Like, if it was a company, and if you wanted your game to be cross-platform, like, they set up agreements with any of the platforms that wanted to run it, like I don't know, whatever specifications they have, whatever limitations they want to set, have to be abided by the game, and like for a percentage of like the money that company would just manage cross-platform and make sure they all played nicely together and they all kind of, I don't know. It's not that easy, but I wish it was.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
Another game to keep an eye out on this. They just announced it. Disc Jam.
Oh, yeah.
They just announced dedicated servers, or it's about to be patched out. They announced cross-platform play between PS4 and PC. I wonder if that game gets ported and we see a very, very similar situation. PS4 and PC go one way and the rest of it go the other way.
Right, because when he talks about cross-platform play, yeah, he's right. They have done it in the past between PS4 and PC. Period. It's not PS4 and Xbox.
Yeah.
That's not happening. It's the other way. It's very backwards, and it seems very much, again, like we need to control this. We're at the top, so we need to do whatever we can to remain at the top, and if that means saying fuck you to it just, I don't know. Again, this is where seeing Phil Spencer go out and talk about this stuff, he's just candid, and he's like, can we just play games? Like he runs the company. He knows he's got to make money. He's got a bottom line, right? But, like, let's just play games. Can we just... It's video games. They're supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be whatever. They're supposed to be whatever they can be. Why are we letting all this bullshit get in the way of it? It just seems like dumb hubris.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know. It's a lot of this stuff. Something that's kind of stuck with me ever since I read Masters of Doom was John Carmack's philosophy of not patenting anything he ever did. And it's... I know.
The VR, look at the trouble.
I know. The Oculus stuff kind of got fucked up, right? But it's because of the way that other people handle it. If we all had the idea that John Carmack had, where, look, I made something for the advancement of this technology, for the advancement of humanity, for the advancement of fun, really. I'm not going to patent this and make it so that somebody else, needs to... I can sue them if they use my idea. Like, no, it's an idea. Let's share it. Let's get it out there. Let's make it publicly known.
That mentality, that ultimately led to, like, a team deathmatch.
Right. Like, that kind of stuff. Like, that openness and stuff. Like, that is what created such big things. And I think being so closed-minded on that, like, just like, no, we need
I would love to be someone on the sales end of PlayStation, just so I can see if their PSN numbers take a hit. Yeah. Because if you have both an Xbox and a PlayStation, but, like, you're only paying for online service on one of them, I wonder now, I mean, we always knew the PSN was a hot fire underneath the hood.
Yeah.
It somehow works. I don't know how, but it does compared to Xbox Live.
Aluminum foil, electrical tape.
Yeah.
It works.
It's my fucking car.
It's games of children.
Yeah.
But, like... but if the PlayStation exclusives were what maybe kept you on the PSN side, oh, well, I pay for things that way. Yeah. I'm just going to play my third-party stuff with that account. Where now, like, oh, well, I can play with more. There's more of an audience here. I can get into games easier. The small indie games, those communities that live on the thousands of people that are on it at a time, now it's maybe tens of thousands of people that are on it at a time because all these different platforms are bleeding into it. I wonder if Xbox Live numbers go up and PSN numbers go down.
It might.
I'm sure. To be fair, PlayStation was kind of born out of that hubris anyway. Them being in talks with Nintendo about making a system and then just dipping on the deal. Like, nope, sorry, we're gonna announce the PlayStation.
Well, they didn't dip. It was the other way around.
Yeah.
Nintendo dipped and then they had to. But I mean, their hubris with PS3 era where they were just let's just do whatever.
You're gonna need a second job,
right? Yeah.
Fuck you, no.
Yeah, we're gonna do it because that's what we want to do, and you love us that much that you'll stick around. It's like this isn't.
But those are two contradictory kind of statements from him. Then, like, you love us so much that you'll stick around, but what do you care about all these old games that we came out with?
Yeah, it's this isn't me sitting here making a declaration of like, okay, it's time to jump ship. I'm gonna, burn off my PlayStation tattoo.
I sadly
don't have a PlayStation tattoo.
I sadly will probably never jump ship from Sony at this point.
I mean, it'd have to be pretty fucking bad, but
Naughty Dog got them with the Xbox.
Yeah. But I did have PS1, PS2, loved both of those platforms through and through, and then PS3 I kind of walked because they forced me to walk, right? And Xbox said, "We'll take you," right? And the Xbox 360 was a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. Terrible. Terrible.
Red rings.
Yeah.
Literally every console. Like, it was so bad. And yet we all kept buying them. It was that infection.
Several times over.
Right.
Yeah, because you had to buy after your red rings.
Exactly.
I'm waiting 2 weeks for them to repair that shit. Just writing 3 weeks later.
And it's this kind of shit that just like it takes a step backwards, and it's like fuck.
That was ultimately the reason why I didn't buy an Xbox. I'd be a totally different person. It was just all the red ring shit.
I know.
And then like, it finally dropped to the same price, the PS3. And I was like, well, shit. And then like right around that time was Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then it took me a little bit to get Metal Gear Solid 4, but that price drop and pretty much Metal Gear was the reason why.
I sold my 360. I think that's the only console I've ever sold. Except for the PSP, but I'm not counting like mobile consoles.
I gave mine to my brother after his totally red ring for like the 9th time and just took a shit. Yeah.
Missed that boy. I forgot I had it for like months.
Yeah, 360 was good. Kinda.
Matt, dude, Halo.
I know.
Halo 3.
I know.
You're welcome.
No, I had a lot of fun with that platform.
Gears isn't that bad of a game. It's just
Gears was good.
It's a little bit heavier than I like, but I still like it. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's a fine game.
I mean, Waka was really good in it.
Waka?
Same voice actor.
Oh, that's right.
That's
right.
John
DiMaggio. Yeah.
Who has the same voice and everything.
Yes.
Jake.
Yes. Bender. That's everything I had for show and tell. I don't know if you guys have stuff. If you want to go into anything.
Rocket League's coming to Switch in December.
Yes, this is news.
Probably PSA.
Yeah.
Well, not December. Holiday. Sorry.
Sorry. It's a fucking shame. But, that was a hell of an episode. It's a good recap on E3. Feel pretty good about everything there for the most part. PlayStation was good. It was.
If you ignore the interviews, the conference was fine.
No, yeah. The conference was fine. It's stuff to look forward to. I think Nintendo has a big, impressive showing. Like a lot of cool stuff coming to the Switch later this year. And then
in 4 years.
In 4 or 5 years. And then Xbox told a really, really good story with what they want to do with the new X. And it's looking more and more attractive by the day. Played some
and
stuff.
Anthem came out of that. The Anthem looks fine. The Anthem looks like the BioWare game I kind of want.
Looks like BioWare meets Destiny, which seems pretty cool.
And it's not Andromeda.
No, it sure is not.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Cool. Well, if you like this episode, you can find it and all of our other episodes on your favorite podcast service. Because we're on all of them now. We're on YouTube. A lot of video stuff there, in addition to the podcast. And then, of course, we have thefreecheese.com. You can go to thefreecheese.com, read all of our articles. Right now, our cover story for the month is Dreams. Specifically, looking into the whole idea of, I can't believe this is happening. So, obviously, E3 is the perfect time to talk about Dreams, and I can't believe this is happening. All the things that we don't know why they're happening, or we can't believe they're happening. And we have some more stuff coming up soon. Keep an eye out for. We just launched a new video series called Co-op, where the first entry in the series, Mark and I played through Ibn Ab together for quite a bit. And then the day this episode goes live, in the afternoon, you should be able to find Mark, myself, and Matt playing Dragon's Crown. We played like a good hour-ish of that and had a lot of fun. Keep your eyes out for that. Yeah, freecheese.com. You can also follow us all on Twitter. The Free Cheese is at SomeFreeCheese. Sandeep is at ReggieThePorp. Matt is at MattyIce131. And I am at The Free Cheese. Thank you, Sandeep, for joining us. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you, listener, for hanging out. I'll see you in another week.